時候chưa nghe vậy đó hả?
few hundred patch notes and suddenly everyone's got 5 passives. Is that... Get rid of that.
Tons of damage.
Redacted, you're the winner. I'm not sure where to put the microphone, but what went into making this costume? How long did it take?
Oh, I'm French. French. I'm French.
Oh, he's French.
Oh. Hello again. Mid! Come back, summoners.
Split 3 introduces the most impactful format change of the season, the Swiss stage, where seeding and championship points can make or break a team's year. Top 4 teams from Split 2 playoffs face the bottom 4 in the opening round. After that, teams are paired against others with the same win-loss record. Teams continue playing until they reach 3 wins and qualify for playoffs, or 3 losses and they are eliminated. Following the Swiss, BO5 seeding matches determine final placements. The top seed earns the right to choose their playoff opponent between the 3rd and 4th place teams. In the playoffs, 4 teams battle through a double elimination bracket for 2 spots at Worlds and the right to be called the 2026 LCP champion. Additionally, the team with the highest championship points secures a Worlds berth, rewarding year-long excellence. The LCP Promotion Series returns in 2026, with 2 guest teams required to defend their place against champions from the region's domestic leagues. But this time, championship points will be a determining factor in which guest teams have to defend their slot. The pressure is on across every level of competition. This is the League of Legends Championship Pacific. Let's show them what we're made of.
tụi em sẽ tới đó và chứng minh.
Man, the energy here, it's a demon's dinner bell. All right, it's your funeral. Hey, kid, your bear's got better instincts than most parents. Say your prayers. It's me, the consequence of your actions. If you bury the pain will bury you. This is salvation. A moment of silence for the recently departed.
Welcome everybody for another night of LCP action. My name is Carrick and with me is the ever lovely, ever talented Pike. How are we doing tonight?
Good, brother. How you feeling? It's going to be a good night. It's the end of the week. We finally got here.
Exactly. We are whipping our way through this LCP split and we have a hell of a matchup tonight because it's the battle of the 2 and 0. But before we get there, we're going to have a look at what happened yesterday because that was just as action-packed as today. I mean, this was a really big one. I think game 1 went about the way we expected, but MVK getting up 2-0 over Garm?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a surprising one, Carrick. Like, I'm not sure too many people expected this, but Vikings, they're still fresh. They're still looking good. They're bringing unique things to the picks and the meta. Like, I really like this. And if I had to put my own prediction onto it, it would have been a 2-1 to Vikings regardless. Garm had a couple questionable games. I think Drakthar's just maybe feeling a little bit too confident, but needs to dial it back a bit. But the DCG, DFM, it makes a lot of sense. I think DCG is looking somewhat good. And let's look at this Swiss stage, Carricks.
Yeah, exactly. As you can see, we're almost done with the Swiss stage already, even though we are so early in the split tonight. You can see that top, right up the top there, Team Secret Wales versus CFO. That's where we are tonight. The winner will be done for now. Obviously, they will be going straight into the playoffs, while the loser will be going down to face off in that 2-1 bracket. You can see DCG and MVK already locked in there. This is our match today. Now, something to point out, the longest streak in the LCP ever is CFO, sitting at 14 matches. Team Secret Wales are at 13. So a win tonight and they pull level.
Well, that could be kind of interesting, especially as this is still very early on in the split too. So Secret Wales, if they maintain this sort of dominance that they've been showing all year long, I think they're in the running to at least take over. And what better time to talk about this exact team? There it is, Pun, Histo, D-Ray, Eddie, and BA. Like we said, they've been looking absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, they've been looking unstoppable in the LCP. Of course, brought forward by Warhorse and Seal. This is a team that's gone international and really made us proud at MSI. They were fantastic. They've looked unstoppable in the LCP. They've won both splits so far and are looking to make it a hat trick. And the craziest part about this team is I don't even really know where to start when talking about them. There's no star player. They're just all-stars.
Look, it's so true, and I think I touched on it earlier in this week as well, that there are some, maybe some small cracks in the armor, but the armor is still thick. It is stainless steel, it is sharp, it is shiny, and this team really wants to prove why they had the #1 seed here in the LCP. We've got a lot of high hopes for them tonight as well, but they're up against some fierce competition, a team that's trying to reignite that fire, you might even say, Carricks. Rest, Shadow, Pout, Doggo, and Kino. This is a team, they're starting to look pretty good as they shape up.
Yeah, exactly. When they brought in some of those new players, Chorwi and Woolala have been working with this 5-man roster, just slowly building it, slowly. At the end of last split, I think they started to hit their stride. They've come into this split, have gone undefeated so far. And I really do think they're ready to take it to Team Secret Wales. And I think a player like Pout is where I've got my eyes. But there is another matchup that I wanted to talk about more. It's actually down in the bot lane. It's the supports, because I think these two players are critical for these teams.
Oh, you bang on there, Carricks. They are so critical. We've seen Kino pulling out some amazing things, but you can't ignore that BA has the stats to prove why they are just better. Every single thing across the board is up. Kino's got a lot of work to do, especially in this meta where it is the Camille's, the Shens, the high roaming supports that need to be making impacts across the map. We need to be seeing these guys getting out of lanes fairly early and starting to rotate to the mid and the jungle fights. But here are our teams before they get ready for the walkout. They're getting primed and ready on these computers. Is there anything you'd like to see as we get ready for our predictions, Carricks?
I think what I want to see is a focus on jungle matchup in terms of the draft. I think Shadow has been a player that needs a lot of focus. We want to say what we think is going to happen tonight as well, but if they can put a lot of pressure onto Shadow, I think Histo can run away in that individual matchup, because Histo has been so impressive across all of this year, really.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at those predictions of ours and see where we're going to be sitting and our thoughts. Okay, so, Carrick, you've got some faith in CFO, but at the end of the day, it is going to be the Secret Whales, and I just think Secret Whales are just looking too damn good. I don't think anyone in this region is able to keep up with them right now, so I've had to go the 3-0, but explain to me the 3-1.
So I think Shadow will get his pick in one game. I think when Shadow gets a pick, when he gets something like the Pantheon, something that he can be really, really high impact on, he can completely take over games. Unfortunately, I don't know how many junglers that exist that he can do that on right now, given that Team Secret Whales is incredibly good in the draft. I think it'll happen once. I don't think it'll happen more than once, but this is one of those times where I'd love to be wrong, because CFO taking the win today would be such a massive upset.
Oh, really would, and they'd be changing that streak once again, but now we'll just have to wait and see. But I guess you've talked a little bit about Shadow. Let's look at some other lanes as well. We talked about our supports. Maybe let's look at the support AD carry duos and what we expect to see out of these sort of dynamic players.
Yeah, I mean, these players just can do so many different things. I think they can go a lot of ways. I think where Team Secret Whales has a massive advantage with this mage meta that's coming in is if BA is unlocked to walk around the map, that's what he wants to do regardless. Even in metas where supports have been more stuck in bot lane, he leaves anyway. So the fact that that's now also considered the most effective tactic is really, really strong for them. And Eddie, sometimes he falters a little bit when left alone, but I think he has come into his own as a player that you can just let scale and he'll take over team fights later.
I think, well, that's a bit of I've got a bit of a counterpoint to that almost here, Carrick, because we saw earlier in the week, again, it's still very early days for these teams as they get ready to start these drafts up, get ready to fight it out on the Rift, but we saw Eddie absolutely running train on a Kali of all champions in that AP carry spot, and that's the big difference. I think when I talk about Eddie in general, and it's why I wanted to talk about this sort of these duos in the bot lane, is you're right. Supports, they're just going to bugger off. They're going to leave the lane and leave them to their own devices. That's fine. But we saw Eddie soloing people very comfortably on these mages. We've seen him play the Akali, the Syndra, the Talia. The only traditional AD carry we've really seen him on so far is a Kai'Sa. And at the end of the day, Kai'Sa, yeah, is sort of an Eddie bread and butter sort of champion. But, oh, doggo, don't stare at me like that. It's going to make my heart flutter a little bit. But what I'm trying to say is I think Eddie has been really leveling up his skills regardless. As the splits have gone through, this international experience he's starting to pick up, he has really risen in priority in regard to like how well he's been playing and started to sort of close the bar against his other players, because Histo has been looking so good, Pun looking really good, BA as well. I think Eddie was that sort of maybe a weaker link that was sitting a little bit lower, but I think they're on the same tier, which is why this team I rate so highly.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Every role on this team, I think, is so high level. I think Pun, split 2, I think he was having a bit of a happy split. He was having some games where maybe he wasn't as locked in as he should be. When he went international, he completely switched that up. He was fantastic. I think he's continued that level of seriousness in this split so far. It's early days. You can see he's drawing bans. The fact that Volibear and Set have to be banned by these teams if they just want to lock in something like a Scion is so powerful. There's just 2 bans that you just get for free, basically, and then he just plays something normal. This whole team, just across the board, I completely agree with you as well. It's really good to point out that Eddie has been stepping up, because I think he was the one player that you might have been able to criticize a little bit last split. I'm caveating that a lot on purpose. But at the same time, going over to CFO, I think they have come into their own as that 5-man team.
Look, yeah, that's exactly where I was heading to, and I love that you took me there. I think the big thing there is CFO have been playing very straightforward meta picks, and we can look towards the top side of Rest, right? Picking up the Nars, the Rumbles, Cassante, even the Yorick in there. They're playing champions around this. They are very comfortable around meta picks, whereas I think that's where Secret Whales have that bread and butter. They can pick out things like the Urgot in the top lane too and throw them for a loop. So it's almost a bit of Vikings initiative, but with the hands of a top tier team. But Carricks, we're gonna have to wait and see what these teams are gonna do, right?
Yeah, that we are. Will it be meta or will it be off-the-wall gaming that comes out on top? We will find out very, very soon, because here in the LCP, we're made for this.
希望，希望，希望。
欢迎各位来到 LCP Arena， 2胜0败组也是第2周第4天的赛程。标舞比赛将会是由秘密禁域 TSW 出战中信非牟利 CFO 深海的霸主前后任的王者，究竟谁可以顺利的踏入3-0 3胜0败的组别呢？马上欢迎双方选手进场，上路胖 Rest。打野 Pistol Shadow， 中路 D-Ray Pod， 下路 Eddie Dogo， 辅助 BA Kino， 教练 Warhorse Chowi， 只要相信海，海就会帮助你。Dogo 在先前比出了3-0，但在赛前陈瑞老师预测则是完全相反的结果。究竟谁可以直接冲往季后赛呢？比赛正式开始。
Thank you again, Tommy. Always bringing the hype as we get ready for the game. It's going to be Pun and Histo from Team Secret Wales for the 2v2. Pike, what do we think of that decision?
I like it. I like a good top jungle duo, especially Pun. We know the creative picks are always going to be there. He's got the hands, and Histo is just basically god tier in this league right now. I don't think there's any jungler that can really match him, but love to see is it is going to be Rest and Doggo on the other side. So top and 80 carry. What do you think, Carrix?
I mean, top and 80 carry is an interesting pair, no doubt, but I always like seeing Rest hit the Howling Abyss, just pull in something fun. I'd love to see, I mean, I'm still waiting for some big combos to come in. I'm still waiting for my Rengar Ivan. Is there anything you've been really waiting for these teams to pull out?
Okay, look, there's a whole lot of conversation about that, right? And when we're looking at these duos, I just want to see Pun on something like the Volley Bear, with Histo hitting something up, like just give them something really traditional that we know that they dominate really hard on. I know it's going to be weird. Give me like a volley bear with like a Lee Sin maybe and just go full explosive damage. Land those sonic waves, just get on top of them, see what happens. But, you know, there's always those awesome combos, characters, right? There's like, you got the Poppy and Niveas, like you said. It's the Ivern Rengars. Like, there's a lot we could do. Cassiopeia and Singed is still a thing. Depends if it gets banned out.
Yeah, I mean, that would be an interesting one as... we don't have that fearless sort of locking out a bunch of champions this time, so could go to that toxic duo. Draven, Pantheon are going to be taken away. Those have pretty much been consistently gone as Nidalee for rest. Okay.
I don't mind that. It's very aggressive for rest. Maybe we'll see some Nidalee in the top lane soon, but maybe not. Oh, I got the volley bear. I called it. Okay, that's awesome.
Good call. Love that. Yeah, Pun going back to the bear on the Howling Abyss. It's lore appropriate. It's the Varus mirror.
I haven't seen this
Doggo,
since like the old league days. But basically watching
Doggo's got to win this. He can't be an AD carry, lose to a jungler, right?
Well, we're about to find out, right? Who's a better AD carry? Is it his two or is it Doggo? Like this is next level sort of predictions here. Who do you think has this one just based off comps? Carricks?
I think it's a bit of a tricky one. I think I have to go over towards Team Secret Whales. I think the volley bear out of Pun he's shown in these 2v2s, and I mean he's shown it on the Rift, of course. He is incredible on the champion. But at the same time, I haven't seen Nidalee in a while, so maybe Rest can prove me wrong.
Look, there's one thing that I've always noticed about Pun's volley bear. It's almost as if he's got like a bit of a almost like an observation haki. For all you One Piece fans out there, I genuinely think he knows exactly where to put those Sky Splinter just to put them in the right spot to get the shield, to get a little bit more damage and just to pop off as we're already on. His toe just took a punch to the head already, which is not great. There's the Shaka out of rest. You know what? How do you get that emote? Carricks, do you know? I don't know how to get it. I want it.
I don't. I want it too. I need to reinvigorate my emote wheel. It's been getting a little bit tired.
It's hard though some days, you know, like
new things to add. Yeah, it is.
Like I like to keep all the animated ones as often as possible because that's just a bit of a flex too. Okay, see, look, Pun, Burner getting the flash out of rest instantly, straight away. It's the observation haki coming in clutch.
Exactly. Just both flashes immediately down. They don't want to go near this bear. They saw what Pun can do to even the best teams in the world, so they don't want any of that smoke.
It's very scary. You might even say, Carricks. I'll stop this. Guys, I apologize. It was just a bit too easy. Bear puns, they are the easier of the few. But look, damage is pretty good so far for CFO. They have already got Pun quite low. So you got to be very careful because the range here with the Nidalee, with the Varus, you have so much at your sort of disposal. But the other side of that is the all-in with Pun landing a little bit of CC. It's going to really hurt for them. So if they get caught out, it's why those flashes were burnt so quickly. 1 second, they might just go down as his toe. 1/3 health. Has to be very careful.
Yeah, he's going to have to go for a reset, so there will be a fair bit of turret damage given. Of course, that is one of the win conditions. Probably the one we don't see very often is the tower going down. Oh, no.
Did it cancel? It cancelled it.
He cancelled the recall, yeah.
That's okay. Gonna get a little sneaky back. Get a little bit of that armor, getting an armor cloth in there too, but tower's already getting smacked, and with these minions just constantly on, this could just be CFO looking to take this one up. Like, yeah, they've got 2 minions left. One more good push could close that one out, as now Pun has to back off too. Maybe Doggo is just the better AD carry player.
Yeah, maybe. His toe's going to have to defend this by himself. I think this tower could just go down if CFO just hit it. And yeah, the tower's just gone. CFO will get that right of first selection.
Look, just a range diff. It's like when you go into an ARAM and it's all tanks versus like all AD carries. Yeah, eventually the tanks will start to win because there's only so much an AD carry can do because you have that range at the start, and that was just what CFO had. They had that extra range, so they were feeling pretty good about that and just walked in some good waves. Really well done. Like, big props to CFO for winning.
Yeah, I mean, just cool, calm, and collected. They'll go over. Now, the real question is, which side of the draft do you take, if that is what you choose to pick? They could, of course, pick the side of the map as well. I think giving counter pick in mid lane makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think so. I think you probably do want to be going for side selection here over sort of pick selection. I think blue side has been quite strong for these teams too. That they both have sort of gravitated towards that blue side. I think having some form of access into the Dragon Pit is always good, but I think both teams are very competent to go down to that bot side and just get good vision, good security over it. And they're not going to play a 50-50 game most of the time. And if they do, Histo will probably just win that one out. So I don't think either team wants to go for that. So I think going for blue side makes the most sense. Maybe giving the counter pick over is not going to be great because you could give so much over for pun if you want to do that into the top side as well. But D-Ray as well. I feel like D-Ray's been picking up his champions very early in draft. It's usually a rise like second or third pick, first game.
Yeah, they've been putting a lot into him as well. They've been putting him on things like that rise that you just mentioned where he needs to scale up. And I think something that we both identified, I think you actually brought it up, was he hasn't been getting through the early games as cleanly as we want. They're putting a lot of faith into him. They're putting draft capital into him, and then he's kind of just getting ganked in the early game and making things a bit harder for Team Secret Wales.
Well, I think it's not even so much that he's getting ganked, but you're right, he is getting ganked. I think it's more that he's being put on these mid to late game scaling champions. Your Ryze, your Casses, and Nivea, Victor. These are all mages that he's been put on already where he needs 2-3 items to really come unleashed. But once he gets there, yeah, he plays really hard. He's very aggressive. Those realm warps forward are always looking good. So I'd like to see if they're going to be able to change that up a little bit more as the meta is starting to swing to more of these fast-paced, early skirmishing sort of fights. I want to see a little bit more as we're into the ban phase, we're in the draft characters. Ezreal, Vi, Pantheon being banned out by Secret Wales, who are on blue side, and it is Lee Sin, J4 banned out by CFO. They are definitely targeting Histo.
Yeah, the junglers on both sides really being targeted here. 4 already removed. Wouldn't even be surprised to see a 5th go. Does mean a lot of the very strong picks in other roles are up. Yeah, there it is. The Nocturne, 5th jungler. Orianna still available. Camille still available. Camille's a big one to look at. I think BA would love to play it, but Shen is still there as the counter, so maybe not a first pick.
Yeah, that's so true. I think you could be careful, but the Lee Sin obviously being the first major ban, I think we have to talk about as, okay, something awry. Look, it's not the end of the world. We're still just in ban phase, so nothing huge has been shown, unfortunately. But I think this is where you can see both teams very identifying, know the win con for both teams as well. Shadow and Histo are really the playmakers and sort of the initiators of most of these fights. So giving them these really strong, engaged champions that love to fight around it is going to be hard because there are some junglers that are still up that we could expect to see. Some of note, Nefiri, very strong. Was Poppy banned? I don't think it was. Like, that's also another big one. Poppy got through, like that is worth it. Like then you got a Wukong in there as well. If we're looking towards the more tanky side there, characters, you got like the Skarners, the Trundles. Like these are all champions that we have seen before, do have some sort of priority, but are very dependent on the draft.
Yeah, it is so interesting when you see all of this focus towards junglers, I should say, but jungle as a role at the moment is so diverse. There are so many champions that can be picked, and yeah, okay, they're not necessarily all on the power level of a Lee Sin, but things like Xin Zhao, like Nefiri that you mentioned, all super, super playable, particularly by these two junglers. I know Histo in particular has an incredibly deep champion pool. So I think it's more a composition-focused thing. I think a lot of the junglers that we saw there were these high ganking junglers. It might be telling us that CFO wants to isolate the lanes a little bit and potentially try and just out 1v1 Team Secret Wales in their roles.
Which is a big call, Carrick. That is a big call if they are looking to do that, because that is not something many teams really obviously want to do against Secret Wales. Like, this is a team that has hand stiffed and hands checked a lot of teams in the past, and they're not fearful to do that again. So that is a very bold thing from CFO to try and do, especially into them. I want to just cast your eyes down to a different part of the map, Carrix. While we're in this like nice little lull that we just get to talk about the teams, let's talk about this bot lane a bit more. Because we talked about the supports, we talked about the duo aspects. I want to look at what these AD carries could be doing, because it is going to be Doggo and Eddie. Both very traditional AD carry players. Yes, Eddie's been stepping up and doing a lot of those mages, but I feel like Doggo loves the tradition. Do you think we're going to see a mage versus proper AD carry matchup?
I think we very well could. I've been sort of waiting for a team to sort of throw down the gauntlet, lock in Lux Caitlyn. That is one of the ways to beat this mage meta, is just say, you can't roam, because if you roam, your AD carry will die. And Lux Caitlyn, in my opinion, is the best way to do that at the moment. It matches up super well. I definitely think we could see Eddie diverting over to the mages, as you said earlier just this week. He played a Carly, had an incredible performance on it. I think we could see him going towards the Ziggs, the Mels, that kind of thing. But I agree with you. Doggo, he loves his traditional ADCs. I'd love to see him just lock in something aggressive and just threaten a kill lane.
Yeah, I think, and that's the weird thing, is when we were sort of looking at like the MSIs and mostly around like the EWC, is Ziggs Camille was like the priority pick. Like that was the combo that everyone was sort of running. First game, they'd lock it in because you just got a huge target on your head. And the fact that we're not really seeing that in LCP is actually sort of hurting me a little bit, because I'm like, we saw such good plays out of all regions throwing that down and making it look so good. I'm surprised we haven't started to pick that up, but I do understand there are picks that they might not be fully comfortable on, but I think this is now the definition of whether a team can be at that same level, at an international level, to be able to adjust like that quickly as metas are defined.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. The lower priority of Ziggs in particular has been a little bit strange to watch in the LCP. He's been picked here and there, but nowhere near to the priority level that he is in other regions and at those inter-split tournaments. Maybe that turns around here. We are, of course, still just waiting on draft to kick back off. It surely won't be too long away. But sort of moving away from sort of those top flight supports, if it's not Camille that we go to, where do you think these supports might end up?
Hopefully in the bot lane, but we'll probably see them in the mid and the top as well. Just sorry, I'm in full dad mode tonight. It's great. No, I think, look, another one that we've been seeing a lot more of is like the Alistar. Alistair's really sort of risen up because we're looking at these strong engages, and then Alistair can just come in and be that bit of a disruptor in it too. I think I'd really love to see CFO pull out like the Lucian Milio once again as well. Like I think that was a really strong sort of duo for them. They know how to pilot it really well. Even when they sort of lost out early and they sort of gave that first blood for Milio, it wasn't the end of the world. The laning phase was still a very long thing for them. 15 minutes is pretty good for it. So I think that's where I'd like to see it as, okay, we're back in draft. We can see again, so Team Secret Wales chose blue side, but CFO chose second picks. They wanted that counter pick, like you said, Carrix.
Oh, okay. And so it seems like maybe there was a misclick or something happened, because it's actually Kiana that's the last ban, meaning Nocturne is open.
Ooh, Nocturne being open is definitely a spanner in the works, because it depends if it's still so highly sought after. Maybe it's Shadow that's going to be picking this one up, and Secret Wales thought it was going to be the Nocturne ban, and they probably weren't expecting to go for this draft. So we'll have to see what it is. And do you think they'll go for it for Secret Wales?
I don't think you go for it over this Cassiopeia. I think that is a snap pick here, but I think Shadow should go for it. I think where Shadow's had a huge amount of success is on things like the Pantheon, like the Nocturne, where he's been able to be everywhere at once on the map. I think this is really good for CFO.
I'm not sure. Obviously, the Rumble is such a strong pick here as well. I do love Rumble in these games. I think the Syndra makes a little bit more sense because it is that strong flex from the mid and the AP carry role. So I like this. I think the Rumble with a J4 ban doesn't speak volumes of how much impact they're going to get, because right now it's a very pick-heavy comp. Rumble wants to be all about those team fights. So I think if they do pick it up, they're going to have to pair it with something like an Alistar, maybe a fight starter like a Nautilus, or maybe even get something else. But there's the Camille, that's your fight starter. Rumble makes more sense now, but okay, Nefiri being hovered here, I love it. Picked instantly, great.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Just denying just this aggressive pick from Shadow. They just go the Shen as well. If that hadn't been picked there, it would have been banned away in the second ban phase. So far, Team Secret Whales, I think, has a really solid comp. There's still some flexibility as well. That is a pick that has gone through, though, is that Jace, which has been dominating top lanes all over the world.
Oh, is Rest taking it to Pun? If they lock in the set here and just say, we've seen you play this champion before, maybe they're just showing it to him and be like, we know you could play this, but Jace makes way more sense and I really like it. Talk to me about this Jace character. Why is it so good?
Well, it's just, he's gotten sort of buffs and little adjustments to his ratios and stuff that they wanted to get him out of the jungle, but he just has gotten to a point where he just wins a lot of all-ins in the top lane. He's able to kite really well. Obviously, just being a semi-range top as well really helps out. The thing is, there are counter picks. I think Yorick is still floating around as a counter pick. Olaf as well. That has just been banned away. Pun is a player that will just fight you. So I think going the Jace makes sense, able to sort of try and hold him back a little bit, even though holding Pun back is a bit of a fool's errand at times. As Akali is banned out, I mean, it's hard to say which lane they're really banning out there. I'd say it's Pouts Akali, but frankly, who knows?
I think that's a good call, right? Like, as we talked about Shadow being a big fighter, Doggo most likely will pick up this Syndra, which will be a very interesting one. Syndra Camille is definitely a strong duo, but there's the Ryze ban out as well. They're looking towards this mid and trying to take something that's a bit more of a comfort pick for D-Ray. I'd like to see, as Orianna is still up as well, Karens. Like, let's just point that out real quick.
Yeah, true. Orianna just getting this deep into the draft. Both teams have good ball delivery as well. I think CFO might be a little bit forced to pick it here. It's really strong if it goes back over to 10 Secret Whales. The Akali is already gone, so they don't have the natural counter pick. And Nefiri, we've said this so many times, is an excellent ball delivery system. Elise is the hover that could be locked in. This is actually a pick that, it doesn't have the Lux half of it yet, but I'd love to see Caitlyn locked in because, again, this is how you punish these mage bot lanes.
Wukong being picked up instead. I don't mind it. It's quite strong. Very good in the meta right now. Can get in onto these fights. But now that you have two picks up here for Secret Whales, you're right. You do have an Orianna available here. Think of the shields you can get to. Throwing the orb on, giving it over to a Shen. The Yorick makes a lot of sense. Sitting in these side lanes, you can just trust Pun, D-Ray down in this bot side to just be so self-sufficient. We're going to see Eddie being able to just do whatever they really want with this cast. Just push in waves, rotate up. Awesome Petrifying Gaze. I'm fully expecting it. If we see an Orianna here, I really favor Secret Whales in this team comp because it is just looking very all-in and a lot of damage. I think they're just missing out just a little bit on that sort of sustained AD damage. They're going to be really trusting his toe to get a lot of these shots off and do some work there too. Talia is being hovered. I feel like they should be picking up Orianna here.
Yeah, I think Orianna makes a lot of sense, but they've gone over to the Victor. And that, I kind of just in my mind was like, yeah, of course Locke's banned. But no, he's actually gotten all the way through. Could be the final lock-in for CFO. Could be a very tricky pick to play. Don't get me wrong, Locke is very strong at the moment, can dominate lane. But playing into a Gravity Well, into Shen Bubble and Shen Taunt, into Petrifying Gaze is not, and Miasma, of course, is not super easy. As no way. Oh my word, it's Xerath.
Oh, stop it, man. I can't keep seeing Xerath in my game, but talk to me why you like this character, because I'm not a huge fan personally.
I'm just kind of, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm happy to see it. Because I always just like a little bit of variety, but where I actually do really like it is who kills him. How do you kill this Xerath? You can go on him with Nefiri, but no one has the long-range follow-up. You'd have to commit the Nefiri ult with the Stand United on top, but there's enough peel, a Scatter the Weak, a Cyclone, even a Hextech Ultimatum can help out. Can keep this live. I just don't know how you kill Doggo. I don't think the long-range engage is really there.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think that is a good call. Like, it really is going to be maybe looking for these flank angles is maybe the call. Maybe it's going to be on his toe to find those angles from the side, but they're going to have to be so relevant in team fights too. So It'll definitely depend on the early game for Histo and how aggressive they can be to start off. If they can get an early kill or two on the board, they're going to be able to do a lot of work here. So I'm very curious how the start of this game is going to be, but let's look at the top side too. Let's look at how this is going to interact. So we got the Yorick versus the Jace. You just mentioned before, Jace is looking really, really strong. We've been seeing consistently doing well across the board here in the LCP, but Yorick is just a bit of a menace. It really is on pun to take controllers. Already game number 1 here, Carrix. We're entering onto the Rift. Team Secret Whales versus CFO in the first best of 5 in Swiss stage. How hyped are you, man? I'm keen.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this matchup ever since it was locked in. These are currently the 2 best teams in the LCP. They are a 2-0 bracket. And as we were saying before, if Team Secret Whales gets over CFO here, they equal that all-time undefeated streak record. So there's a lot on the line for CFO to defend.
So much. Funnily enough, that's just what whales do. They cross international waters and find the warmer wells. But now we're seeing a little bit of a slower beginning. Eddie coming down to this bot side as the victor. So it is actually going to be D-Ray as the Cassiopeia too. So that's going to give a little bit more safety. And I think Eddie trying to show that he does have those skills to play these unique champion picks. Pout doing a really good job trading into D-Ray there as well. But I want to just do a quick little fact check for everyone while we're in there's no lull. That's an ignite onto Eddie. Kino has to be very careful, tries to get that stub. The flashes are good. Heal comes out, but you've got a little bit too far up. Doggo has a lot of health. BA is still charging forward. Might have the energy to do it. There's no flash on Kino, so this could just be a first blood, and it's going to go over. BA incredibly happy with this, but does get picked up by Doggo. The 1-for-1 trade. It could be a 2-for-1, and no, the flash out of Eddie does keep them alive, but look at Histo. The fight does not stop. Level 2 flashes burn. It's a flash from Histo as well, trying to get that level 3 gank, and I think this should be quite a successful kill for Histo, and it's 2-for-1 in the early game for Team Secret Whales.
Do you need to set to catch your breath, Pike? I can take over for a moment because what a play early on in this game. Let's have a look at this replay. It might be a long one. Because it just starts out with, I think, a little bit of underestimation of Shen's damage. Because they make a good play onto Eddie, but not getting the kill. And then basically Kino, just at this point, he knows he's dead. The Shadow Dash is going to come up soon enough. BA does land it right as he gets the kill. And then sort of at this point, if nothing else happens, I actually think CFO are happy. Yes, you lost first blood, but you got the kill onto Doggo versus BA. Unfortunately for them, Histo just starts on the bottom side, has perfect timing. There's really nothing Doggo can do with no flash up. So in the end, it's still a kill onto BA, but Shen actually does okay with a little bit of gold. And then your Neferi as well just gets to go back, get double longsword. There's going to be no contesting around Scuttle Crabs, that kind of thing with that injection of experience. Got to be pretty happy for the whales. And here we go again.
Fight, it's the LCP special. If there's no blood on the map, Carrix, there's not enough gameplay going on. As now Shadow's trying to find out Histo. Shadow does go forward and gets that clone off, but it's just trying to hold on a little bit longer. Is quite low. D-Ray getting caught out. Miasma is nice. Let's see if the damage is going to be enough. Histo on the backside. DX getting jumped on by Shadow. A nice pick there for CFO, as now he's caught between the rock and a hard place. Flash out. Uses the blast cone to avoid it a little bit more. D-Ray, there's no flashes really in this whole team. Is now Eddie's coming up for a little bit of a party. Has to get over that wall. The hook slingshot does do a good job, and they get out with a kill.
Yeah, they just escape on this one. That we go immediately back in. As how did this all start off? It looks like it was a dive onto Eddie. Kino still level 1, but still able to get everything done. It started with that very clean kill onto Eddie, frankly, even though Kino traded, but you're totally fine with that. That's a good trade. He lost an entire wave of farm. So CFO, early on, making moves.
Yeah, look, it's good. Like, the gold's still dead even. 3 kills for 3. Now we're seeing as BA was kind of looking. Eddie does have that good little bit of damage. This is also the thing with Xerath, right? Is you need to be very active in landing your abilities as well. So the Akano Pulse, you need to be very on point. Like, it's a very skill shot based champion. So if you don't land all that damage, you can be kind of useless, but it's early game, so damage is pretty even across the boards. But let's look at this replay, Carrix, because it was pretty good.
Yeah, and it started out with Shadow getting the jump on Hizdo. So despite Hizdo getting a kill bot lane, because he was getting hit by both the real Wukong and the clone Wukong, you don't win fights when that's happening. He just gets way too much value out of his passive. And he has a blast cone. He plays it well. He does escape there at the end, despite Eddie moving up. So yeah, just a good little heist by CFO, getting themselves a kill on the jungler.
Not too bad at all. But now, game sort of resetting. First dragon is up on the board. It's going to be a Hextech 2. We'll have to see which team is going to make that sort of higher priority over these jungle stacking objectives. Just because that is one thing that we have noticed does win games a lot faster. That if you can get all those dragons online, you will be feeling a lot better. But Void Grubs coming up in 2 minutes' time. We'll have to see if either team wants to be that really aggressive early, just go for those dragons. Maybe we'll see if Shadow wants to solo it, or if they're going to look for these fights as well. But level 6 for Pun and Rest. I feel like the Maiden coming into the lane always makes it a little bit harder for a Jace.
Yeah, it certainly can. The fact that, yeah, like Pun did pick the Yorick, which traditionally has been a pretty decent counter into the Jace. You're always just able to tag him with the E, and then Jace gets a little bit sad when all the ghouls are hitting him. And the fact that the junglers just haven't been able to get up there at all, there's been way too much going on. The island, as you said, completely established. It's just a little bit tricky for Ras, but he'll be okay. He'll still be able to go reasonably even with the Yorick.
There's another little fight. Miasma is good. Petrifying Gaze doesn't land, but it's a lot of damage. The taunt is good. BA is just picking up kills across the board, and a fantastic proactive kill in the mid lane for Secret Whales. But Shadow wants to come in, see if those shots will land. Misses 2, waiting for another one, but trying to just sit back. Is he going to get hit? D-Ray got those hands, but it is Doggo picking up BA2. Another shot will clean him up, but it wasn't the 2 for 1, but still, retaliation from CFO.
Yeah, they fire back well there, and once again, it's Doggo, the beneficiary, moving up to 3 kills. So despite the fact that he has that little CS deficit in his individual matchup, the gold is dead even. I actually really like D-Ray's play here to get this started, just completely catches Pout out, even though the Petrifying Gaze only lands the slow. Still pretty happy. Obviously, they'd have rather that kill go over to D-Ray, but they're not complaining. D-Ray as well puts on the fancy feed here, dodges both of those initial Xerath ults, and even though Doggo is waiting and waiting to try and land another one, he can't, and in the end just has to settle for BA.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Still good. Like you said, Doggo having this nice lead will be really in handy. Considering that Eddie is 20 CS up in this lane, it's still a Xerath with 3 kills. So they're going to be running not just equal, but they are going to be slightly up as the game goes forward. So they've finished off that last chapter. So the last chapter is going to be pretty good. Have to see if it's going to build into something like the Ludens. They get that extra strong wave clear, but Dragon being pinged by both sides, but instead, Secret Whales, they're already up top. They're looking at the grubs.
Yeah, and I think when you have a Yorick on your team, you're always happy to be the grub side of this trade. Pun, he doesn't want to be team fighting if he doesn't have to. He wants to just be inside lanes hitting towers as much as he possibly can. Grubs will make him do that just that little bit better. And yes, CFO, they will get this Hextech Drake. They will get the first stack towards a soul, but it's just the one stack. I don't think Team Secret Whales is too worried.
Nah, it's one drag, not the end of the world. It's when they get 3 dragons and the 4th one's about to load up. That's when you got to be a little bit more concerned, Carrix. But that's way further down the line. First one confirmed at the 9-minute mark. Not the fastest dragons we've seen, but definitely a little bit faster than the slowest dragons we've seen. So we'll have to see as next dragon going to be at about that 14-minute mark. We'll have to see whether the game starts to flip, as it's only a 500 gold lead right now for Secret Whales. They're feeling somewhat good. And it really comes down to just where they're getting the gold across. And I think it really is up towards this sort of top side where we will be seeing big pushes out of Pun, who wants to now use these grubs to their advantage. Eddie now being jumped on, has to be careful.
Yeah, it does need to be very careful. That's flash.
Health Storm does land. Ooh, Kino got taken quite low, but ooh, right of the Arcane is good. One more shot could get it done. Eddie holds on. And now the retaliation fight is Histo jumping in. Flash from Doggo. Does not have the mana to survive, but Histo's happy with the 5-minute timer. BA finding Pound. There is a flash. They have to get another petrifying case. Flash from D-Ray. They're committing, but they just can't. And I think they spent a little bit too much, Carricks.
Yeah, I thought they'd be just happy. Pout blows his flash. You invest almost nothing on your side. You just go, cool. We'll come back in a couple minutes and just take him down when he doesn't have the flash. But D-Ray really trying to accelerate things, just flashing. There was no way Pout was going to turn around, but oh no.
Well done. Getting caught out too. Cyclone's good, and I think BA was trying to come up and help, but just was a little bit too slow. So great productivity again. CFO reset the goal. Now D-Ray being looked at. Kino, wrong side of the ball now too. Miasma's going to do a bit of damage. Flash out again. These guys are flashing on cooldown, Carricks.
Yeah, they think that we're playing, I don't know, Earth or something. Like, if the flash is up, you got to burn it. It's just non-stop action here.
I feel like I'm playing tower defense game right now. I'm just like, if I just keep building towers, they'll do something. But instead, their flashes constantly going off. Still, I love the aggression coming out. This is very much the fast pace we expect to see, but it's good to see that CFO are really stepping up to the Secret Whales as well. Like, they're showing that they are at the same tier, that they are willing to push these fights. Now, Shadow trying to get some really good deep vision, pushing them out of the jungle. I like to see. Cheeky little clone. Not going to do too much, but state of the game. Carricks. Who do you think's got this game, though? Like, we've put our predictions out there. What do you think about this particular game?
It's very hard to call because despite all of this action, we are basically dead even. It's 400 gold to CFO. It's really not a huge deal. Eddie, despite being despite having quite a lot of aggression put onto his lane, he's still scaling up reasonably well. He's getting those ability evolutions going. But it does just come back to the same question I asked in draft. And now he's 3-1. Who is getting onto Doggo? I think the only answer is still the Neferi, and I don't think it's enough.
Could be the Shen too. You never know, as Doggo is walking dangerously close. Oh, you missed the taunt. That's not what you want to see. They're trying to get a little bit more back off. The eye does go down, but the destruction's not there. But yeah, I think you're right. It's a bit of tall order. If they landed that stun there, I think that would have been a very different fight.
Yeah, I think it would have been incredibly different, but unfortunately, BA not quite working out.
That's okay, as we're going to Dragon up in 1 minute and 15 seconds, as the clock tells us, Carrick. So we'll have to see which team's going to go for it. But need to see a little bit more, as already we see the pings up towards the top side. They have spotted out something, or they think there is some tomfoolery afoot with Shadow being topside.
I mean, they are just sort of just hovering around, making sure that they're ready to respond to plays. There's a lot of pings on top side, but they also know exactly where Histo is, as he's just clearing out a ward. So I can't see Rest getting caught.
No. But we're entering into that 13-minute mark, Carricks. Let's look at some items as they're starting to get formed up. Is D-Ray still trying to land into that sort of Rod of Ages, seeing Keen up to this top side, but the Cyclo Sword is being picked up for Histo as well. Triforce confirmed for Shadow. So these big items now online means the damage will be looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the Triforce coming in for Shadow, that is a lot of damage out of the Wukong. These next few Cyclones are going to be extremely potent. BA lurking. Should be able to spot everything out. Eddie is also coming over, just defending their vision as much as they can. As the Dragon is on the map, I don't think Team Secret Whales want to let CFO just have 2 for free.
No. At least there's going to be some sort of contention here too. Kino has been looked at as Histo is there. BA looking to go in, but not going to be hit with too much. The Ignite was just used by Kino, so a little bit of a premature Ignite as this fight, but getting that burnt out is really good because now all you've got left is a couple flashes about to come off cooldown. Actually, every single other player on the side of CFO, their flash is about to come off cooldown. So it's going to be very interesting as we already see Histo on the Dragon.
Yeah, it's already started up as, no, they pulled off for now as now CFO just coming in. It's going to be a fight.
There's something brewing.
CFO have position at the moment. They've got good vision, but of course that Scuttle Crab's still there, making sure Team Secret Wales are all right. There's no big flanks, though. It's just going to have to be D-Ray finding up Gaze.
Yes, they now look for a great taunt. The petrifying case is beautiful, and he's there doing everything. Secret Wales just absolutely shred the CFO roster. There's nothing they can do. Histo picks up a double kill. The right of the Arcane does go forth, but it hits no one. And Carrix, you said who picks up Doggo? They don't care about Doggo. They want the rest of the team instead.
Exactly. I mean, that is one way to do it, is just leave the Xerath alive to tell the tale. As CFO do get wiped out, the Dragon secured, a gold lead picked up for Team Secret Wales. Let's have a look at how it happened. And it was actually BA just landing that enormous flash taunt, the immediate follow-up, and miasma under them. There is no escape. And yeah, I mean, Pike, you're so right. It turns out that is how you deal with Xerath, is you just say, well, you're not going to do anything with the rest of your team, Dad.
It's like, yeah, don't have to worry about you because, yeah, they're all gone. And you can see the damage was so big there. 80 on this Victor, doing almost 3k damage in that team fight. And it was on the back of this fantastic miasma as well that came out. D-Ray landed a perfect one onto 3, almost 4 members, and they just couldn't do anything. They just had their flashes come up. Like, all their flashes are available. The only one that was used was rest. So we're looking at that fight as that miasma had so much value that they couldn't react properly, and then they just got burnt for it, gave over that first dragon, and now the gold lead swinging in 1k favor to Secret Wales.
Exactly, as this is what Team Secret Wales does when they find a fight that they like. It's highlight plays from, again, it can be any member, but that time it was BA just landing that massive 3-man taunt to get it started. Now, Histo, 2 full items completed. There'll be no contesting on this Rift Herald. He's able to just pick that one up completely for free. Pun is having a great time in the top lane. Actually, I say that, he's actually quite down, but oh no.
Yeah, D-Ray's just getting caught. Petrifying Gaze is good, but BA comes in. Stands United is nice. Right of the Arcane is going to be used. Shadow gets that second Cyclo off, but the shutdown still goes over the way of Doggo. But now they're looking at Rest. They said, you're going to take out my mid laner. I will look for your top laner. And Rest is just gone. He's sent back to sleep, and the Dreamy Land is his calling. But towers are being taken across the board. We'll have to see who's going to pick up the first one, and it is Secret Wales.
Yeah, never bet against Yorick when tower taking is on the line, as I don't even think they're going to get this bot lane tower for CFO. So this is a massive swing. Despite it just being a 1-for-1 in kills, it's 2 towers for Team Secret Wales. They'll get the extra charge as well, just for a few tower plates. They've just more than doubled their gold lead.
And that is just the big thing with Secret Wales, especially in the LCP, is you try and take something away from them. Yes, you get that pick, but you've spent so many resources down here. Hextech Ultimatum. You also have the Cyclone coming out, right of the Arcane too. They've tried to get everything just for this, but now they've lost so much more. Secret Wales have that contingency plan, and D-Ray says, boys, I know you've got my back. This is totally fine. And it's on the back of Histo being so proactive on the map and reading CFO like a book.
Yeah, exactly. You're so right. Histo has just been everywhere, really justifying the early draft capital being put into him. This was a second pick Nefiri. With so many junglers banned, they put a lot of faith in this jungler. And why wouldn't you? He's been performing throughout the entire year. He's performing in this game. And just for a reminder, the winner of this series, it is a best of 5. There's a long way to go, no matter how game 1 goes, is locked into playoffs. And with 3 slots for Worlds, there's so much on the line for the LCP.
Yeah. 100%. It's going to be such a big move, as you really want this world spot. That is where all these teams are looking to go, because international experience for the LCP is so critical right now, because it is all about making your stance on that world stage, but also getting that experience. It's about joining these other top tier teams, leagues, and players, and learning from them too, and seeing where we stack up. So this is where Secret Wales are like, we want to go back for a 3rd time. We want to prove ourselves as why we're the best. And same with CFO. They had that amazing run in 2025. They want to show that they're still a team that has to be thought about and concerned about no matter what. But The night is young, Carricks. It's still only game one. We got a lot more League of Legends ahead of us here at the LCP. But right now, Secret Whales 3k gold up. They're looking strong as we're about to enter the 20-minute mark with Baron spawning.
And I think one of the things that we need to talk about is we criticize DRA just a little bit of not getting through the early game as much as we want when he's put on these late game carries. I think this time he has gotten through the early game quite well. The only criticism I have is maybe it's a little bit of a late run of ages. He would have got it about 16 minutes. It's not the earliest I've ever seen, but it's not bad by any means. He has gotten through that dangerous phase of the game. He can scale up. And I think it's worth shouting it out, given that we did criticize him that little bit. He's done well this game.
I wouldn't even say it's criticism. I think it's I've said this before too. It's about when we have the best team in the league, that it's never just one player that's got to be defining the team, right? And I think that's one big thing. D-Ray, by all means, has not been playing bad. I just think that they've somewhat struggled with the meta and not sure where they were sort of trying to go with it. And they've just been caught out and like maybe they're just being put on champions that they really aren't feeling as strong on. I want to just see him feel really on point in a game, as now seeing a bit of a fight as Pun getting jumped on. Dragon's already been secured by Secret Whales. Now they're looking for the re-engage. Goes straight back up into the Hex Deck ultimatum, but where did he go? No chance to run as Rest gets the knockback, but Histo is on the charge. Look at the backside. Pout is also gone. It's a double kill for Histo. Petrifying Gaze hits. Secret Whales unrelenting, charging through, and it is Eddie with a double kill as well, and it is only Shadow holding on.
And you know exactly where they're going, Pike. There's a purple icon on the map that may well be disappearing soon if they think they've got time. And actually maybe making the call that they don't. They don't have the fastest Baron in the world, given that D-Ray was kind of trapped on the other side. So they're just going to clear the enemy jungle, steal a bunch of gold. And let's have a look at how this started, because it was just Pout being too far forward, get slowed. The fact that he has no flash means he struggles to re-enter this fight. They essentially are just fighting 4v5 at this point. Pun is just taking up space. They dump everything into Pun, and there's really nothing left at that point. Yes, there's a Hextech ultimatum. The Rite of the Arcane cleans up Pun, but he's done his job. And there's nothing really else to focus on, because once all the ultimates are down, once all the peel is gone, Team Secret Whales just walks at them. A nice flash Petrifying Gaze as well to get that last kill. Just excellent stuff from them.
Look at the damage shots there. Like everyone else just sort of like baby damage at this point. It is all Eddie doing so much, but you can't ignore this Xerath. Doggo is putting in the work, but they're still 2k behind Eddie, who's 5-1-5. They are so strong. They are 50 CS up just at the 23-minute mark. That is a phenomenal lead, considering Doggo should have that extra range and be able to punish them so much harder. So really nice to see is look at Eddie's damage, just total gold, 11k. He's still on the back with a 10.5k, and it's Doggo who's following up third with 9.5. That just shows the lead difference we're seeing.
Yeah, exactly. And once Team Secret Whales gets a lead, they just do not let it go. It was even for a while, and then it went 2k, 3k, 5k in the course of maybe 2 plays. And this is why this team has been so dominant, why they've been so impressive, is you give them an inch, they take a mile. It's something I used to say all the time about Gum back in the VCS, was if you gave them anything, they would instantly end games off it. But it's just Team Secret Whales' identity now. Any mistake is just punished so brutally.
Yeah, and I think it's that super observations, that observation haki that we're starting to see out of this team. They're seeing fights before they happen, and they just know where to go. The future sight is so strong. Maybe we just change the metaphor. Maybe they've just got the force at this point, and they're just able to see everything, and they can move and play around it. Technically, BA has kind of like a lightsaber with that sword, but you know what? Maybe not. Maybe I'm dreaming a little bit too hard, Carricks.
There's nothing wrong with dreaming, Pike. Here in the LCP, we make dreams come true. That's
next
just a vision
slogan.
war.
We make dreams come true.
But look, I'm right here. I'm right here, social guys. Like, I've got plenty of ideas. Just shoot me a message.
We do see sort of Vision is being put out. Kino trying to get a little bit more control. But again, Pun, look at this wave. Rest has to respond to these.
Exactly, and that's exactly where this Yorick wants to be. Sitting in a side lane, forcing Rest to respond to him. Got his wife out, going for a lovely little walk down the lane, just hitting towers. He's got grubs, he takes them quick. He just requires a constant response.
It's always so difficult, and being able to stay in this lane too. Didn't even really back there, I don't think. They've just stayed and said, you know what, this is fine. There's a Baron up still, guys. I've got TP if you need it. Just give us a yell, but just in case, I'm going to be at their inhib pretty soon. As D-Ray now being looked at, 3 members towards top side, as no scatter of the week is going to land, so D-Ray able to hold on just a little bit more. Pink Wards are going out, so they're clearly looking for some sort of dive, but it could be the future side reactive play. Eddie and BA are waiting in the wings. There's the taunt. It's going to land. A lot of damage. Shadow jumping on through. No Cyclone's going to land just yet. It's still too much. Eddie has all the damage they need. They didn't even take any health loss. And now Kino's being looked at, getting hit with the gravity field. And look at this. D-Ray's looking for more. Pout on the top side, getting jumped to. It's a double kill for Histo. What is going on? Secret Whales don't care what your name is or how good your records are. They are looking to clean up this entire game as Pun almost solo bowled Rest.
Exactly, they're winning everywhere on the map. That gold lead, we checked in last time and it was 5k, it's now 8k, and they haven't even taken the Baron yet. It's only going to get bigger. And Pyke, I sound like I'm just saying it again, this is why we have to respect Team Secret Whales. This is why they're on such a long win streak. Is what do you do in this?
Look, there's a lot of funny answers I could definitely say. I could say anything almost at this point. But for this here, Doggo just got solo ball. Technically, BA joined that fight, but the re-engage here, this was phenomenal gameplay. Histo, again, he's seeing the future. And he's calling this out so incredibly well. Okay, nice little jump there. Kino over the wall with that hook shot, but might not be able to hold on. Has to flash. Histo is willing to follow. Camille, who's been so sought after, solo boloed by Histo again. He's 9-1-2. He's trying to find Rest. He says, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. They've got the Baron. Dragon is up, but they're pretty comfortable just pushing these towers.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to walk it in. The mid lane will fall. The base is broken. Eddie is just completely untouched. We'll just go forward just to land a bit of poke. Throws out the Chaos Storm basically just for fun.
Yeah, just a bit of a zoning ult at that point, and there's nothing wrong with those ever in these fights because your death ray is actually that, a death ray. You get hit with one and you're probably going to lose half your health. Scatter of the Week doesn't really find its mark as the Rite of the Arcane does go forward. Histo being looked at, trying to jump over the wall, but they've sent everything in the kitchen sink to pick him up. 9-2 now, but here comes Pun. It's a big chunky man, and Kino is low, getting picked up by D-Ray on the backside. Cyclone's good miasma does go down. Shadows flashing over walls to get away, but Eddie will hunt you down. I talked about death rays, and Eddie wants these fights. One more hit. There it is. One more. We'll get it done. See you later, Shadow. It's back to the night sky for you, my friend, as the grey screen findeth and cometh. But it is still absolutely huge. 21 kills to 9. Secret Whales, yes, they just lost Pun. BA is up here with the Baron. D-Ray's now joined the fight. They could look to close this one right here, right now. Kino has the shield, but shields do not matter. If you are Secret Whales, they are pushing forward. Pout almost blown up. The Nexus is open, and there is nothing CFO can do in this game one. Eddie is tower diving. 1 HP, he survives, and he goes legendary to close out game one.
Well. Team Secret Whales, they're pretty good, it turns out, Pyke, as they sort of just run over CFO. I think CFO had an okay early game. I think the first 10 minutes was back and forth high octane action, but they were staying even. And then it wasn't. Then it wasn't even. It was really close. And then Team Secret Whales went, oh, sorry, I've got something on later. We got to wrap this one up.
It's like, oh, so this is still a best of 3, right? Because we just have to win the 3 games. Like that's what Secret Wales are trying to say to themselves. Like that, that's all we need to focus on. Like, yeah, you're right. Secret Wales, we're gonna look at the stats after this game right now, and okay, yeah, pretty gross. Pretty gross.
Yeah, that's a really big damage chart there for Eddie. We were talking about how he's adapted to this mage meta, and yeah, I think he has. On the other side, Doggo, I mean, he did a lot of damage on the Xerath, but unfortunately it just wasn't very effective damage. It was a lot of tagging people with Rite of the Arcane and getting dots from your items, which is nice, but doesn't really matter when the follow-up just wasn't quite there, as yeah, they ended up just getting run over.
Yeah, this first fight was really good for CFO too. Like, this was like the nice one that they were able to get a little bit back. Yes, the first one still went over to BA, but this was the signs of life that we were like, okay, CFO is taking it to Secret Wales. This is what we want to see from this team. I'm not sure where it all started to go downhill though for CFO. Carrick, do you know? We'll probably see.
It's a good question. It'll probably be in these highlights. I actually think it was just that 3-man flash taunt from BA around the second dragon. If I had to pick one moment that was when it all turned, I don't think it really was just one moment, but if I had to pick one, it is there. Because they just pick up a bunch of kills, they get themselves a dragon, so they were just no longer really worried about dragon. The game wasn't going to go long enough for 5 dragons to spawn. So they just sort of just had control of the map from that point. I think BA had an incredible game. I know we're watching him die on our screen, but this is the play I'm talking about. He goes in, lands the 3-man taunt, the immediate follow-up with a gravity well and a miasma. There is no escape, and I think this is where CFO just couldn't come back.
Yeah, it was just the cleanup crew was good. Histo really online. And there's, again, a really proactive play from CFO. It looked good. D-Ray still does go down here at the end of this, but they use so many ultimates and so much just to get him. The downside is you see Histo up on this top side. Everyone's down bot, so Rest is left alone, and he just can't do anything. And then it was just them cleaning up everything else. And even this fight, Histo wasn't really doing damage. They were just on this dragon, and then they joined the fight.
Yeah, exactly. And I really liked in this, Pung was just taking so much space, just standing in the middle of river. They dump a Cyclone into him. They throw Rite of the Arcane at him, but his job is already done. I called this in the replay during the game, but you can just see that despite the health bars for CFO not being terrible when the turn happens, they know that they have no resources. They have no positioning. They just have to walk away. And that's when Team Secret Wales just runs them down. There were a couple of nice little counter kills at the end, Pout getting a big shutdown, but at this point, they were so far behind that it was completely irrelevant. This turns into the final fight to win the game.
Yeah, look, it sort of was expected towards the end. They were just looking so fierce. They were absolutely drilling them into the wall. They couldn't even really leave their base by the end, and it was just clean pickup. And I just loved, we didn't get to see it, but Eddie right there at the end, the Nexus was so good. Got down to at least like 2 HP and still got out with this big shield. You love to see it, Carricks.
You absolutely do, but we will love to see Game 2 even more. We won't be too long. Stay tuned into the LCP, where we've got more action just around the corner.
Split 3 introduces the most impactful format change of the season, the Swiss stage, where seeding and championship points can make or break a team's year. Top 4 teams from Split 2 playoffs face the bottom 4 in the opening round. After that, teams appeared against others with the same win-loss record. Teams continue playing until they reach 3 wins and qualify for playoffs, or 3 losses and they are eliminated. Following the Swiss, BO5 seeding matches determine final placements. The top seed earns the right to choose their playoff opponent between the 3rd and 4th place teams. In the playoffs, 4 teams battle through a double elimination bracket for 2 spots at Worlds and the right to be called the 2026 LCP champion. Additionally, the team with the highest championship points secures a Worlds berth, rewarding year-long excellence. The LCP Promotion Series returns in 2026, with 2 guest teams required to defend their place against champions from the region's domestic leagues. But this time, championship points will be a determining factor in which guest teams have to defend their slot. The pressure is on across every level of competition. This is the League of Legends Championship Pacific. Let's show them what we're made of.
It's a big win for Team Secret Wales, something we're a little bit too used to saying, Pike.
Yeah, no, it's nice. We're definitely on track for a series that we were hoping for. I did commit to the 3-0 for Secret Wales in this best of 5, so You know what? I'm feeling pretty confident after that. It was just full dominance, full showing from this team. They really put it together. We just need to see if they can hold on for the next 2 series. The other flip side of that coin, though, Carrick, can CFO really step up to this roster?
Yeah, look, I think after game 1, I'm a little bit worried about my 3-1 prediction. I think maybe I should have been as bold as you were, as that was not particularly close. After the 10-minute mark, Team Secret Wales just put their foot on the gas and just ran away with it. And the thing is, it's hard to point to any single thing. It's not like one player from CFO just had a bad game and I can just say, well, they're just not going to play like that in game 2. I don't think they had a bad game. I think they played fine, and then it was just Team Secret Wales being better.
And you can just call me Ridge from the Bold and the Beautiful, because that is always my predictions at the end of the day. But you're right, they were just playing better. It was looking really strong. CFO, they had that slight early game. They were making things happen. And then it was just Secret Wales. They found every other lead on the back of that beautiful play that you called out. The 3-man taunt from BA set them up for success. What can you do when you're just slowed into infinity? But we're getting ready for game number 2 here, Carricks. It is a fearless draft. It's a best of 5, so champion pools will start to be dwindled. Now that we've seen some of the favorites taken off the board, is there anything you'd like to see?
Well, the interesting thing is that Nocturne and Oriana were both up in that game and just went through, just unbanned, unpicked. 2 of these really high priority champions just completely ignored. So that is still available, particularly in a combination. If Nocturne and Oriana go to the same team, we know how powerful that can be. We've seen it basically all year, as Oriana has just been this perennial pick. I think those 2 are what I'm focusing on initially, but also now that Nefiri is gone, what is going to be the high prior jungler if CFO's ban strategy doesn't change?
Look, the only ones that sort of really come in to mind, like if we're looking at the same bans that we had last time, I do see like the Xin Zhao is going to be possible. Trundle Skarner I mentioned before too. The Wukong's now off the board. So Pantheon is another big option. It did get banned too. We'll have to see. As now we're seeing a slight change up to the banning phase. As Anivia is the first one off the board for the side of CFO.
Well, that is CFO immediately changing up the ban strategy. There'll still be some jungle bans, I'm sure. Lee Sin being taken away. Definitely don't want to let his toe onto that one. On the side of Team Secret Wales, I don't know if you do change things up a huge amount. I still don't want to give Ezreal to Doggo. Obviously, they agree. Wouldn't be surprised to just still kind of see a similar thing. I'd like to see Poppy maybe brought in to the bans. I think she's rising in priority with some of these junglers already being used.
I totally agree with that. I think that's a good call, looking at the vibe being taken off board now too, just some staple picks. But you got to start thinking about, how do you start to ban out Doggo as the game goes on too? Because instantly what comes to mind is, imagine if we got the Draven coming in where they're like, all right, it's maybe 3rd or 4th game. We need to full send something. And there's that Poppy ban that you talked about. It is rising up in that priority. But we might, as sort of like these bigger carries of the AP damage champions being taken off the board or being used, we could start seeing more traditional bot lanes coming out.
Yeah, we definitely could. I mean, I'd love to see some traditional bot lanes. Would be nice for sure. But first pick available, Nocturne, Oriana, both still up. That's where I have my eyes. I am mostly thinking about junglers. I want to give Shadow something strong to play on. Rumble as well. If you can give Rest Rumble, he can really take it to Pun.
Yeah, but Cassante is sort of like that option, but there's the J4. So it is being hovered. Let's see if they're going to lock it in, and there it does. It is going to be picked up successfully for CFO. So you talked about getting Shadow on a priority pick. That's the most priority pick you could almost sort of choose. But okay, Pun says, I like the J4. Maybe we'll look at a Volibear, but Nautilus being picked up. I love this pick right now.
Yeah, interesting pickups here. Going the Kiana here, just not wanting to show too much. They get themselves a jungler. They get BA a support he really likes, something he's got a lot of priority on. I like it a lot. I am interested in what their 3rd pick is going to be, because you could have left Kiana till then. It's not like she was going to get picked away when you already see the Jarvan. So they might be trying to hide a mid lane or something that they're going to sneak in. As Leona, okay.
I like the Leona. I think this opens up a Ziggs angle, which we've seen quite heavily in the LCP. If the Leona is locked in, Ziggs makes the most sense. Depends if they want to go that route, but you could go with something a bit more traditional too. Kai'Sa still speaks volume because you don't want to give this Kai'Sa over to Eddie with a Nautilus as well. Like, that is just a disaster that you have to go up against if Secret Whales confirm it. But we'll have to see what they're going to lock in. There are a couple other majors still up on the board you could go for. Orianna, that was literally what I was about to say. It has been picked up. Orianna J4 makes so much sense. And now the lock being hovered.
Yeah, lock is going to be an interesting one here. Not super easy to play. A melee assassin into Leona is able to peel pretty well. Wouldn't be surprised to see Dire maybe pivot off that towards something like a Kali if he wants to play that to counter Orianna. But no, he goes with the lock. He's going to back himself.
I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like, again, we've been seeing a lot more lock recently, Carrick. Do you like this champion in pro play? Do you think it's got the goods?
I think at the moment it does. I think he just does so much damage. He's so oppressive early in lane. If he tags you with a single nail on this patch, you just have to back off. I think holistically, once maybe he gets a little bit of numbers changes, this is not a champion I expect to see a huge amount of in pro play. So it's nice to see him for a little bit.
Yeah, like they're obviously trying to show him off a little bit as the start of the splits do come in. But I think you're right. It is one of those champions that if they get an early lead once again, they can really start to take over a game. Now, this is very different to what we've seen from D-Ray as well. Classically, we've really only seen D-Ray on these sort of mid to late game champions. Lock likes a bit of an early game, likes a bit of a scrap. Once they get that Purgatory online, they could get some work done. And so I'm curious to see how it's going to be piloted specifically on this player, as bans are now coming out. Volibear taking a little bit more of a priority ban now, as Pun does have the pick of the litter of other champions too. We'll have to see, as Urgot was played earlier this week as well, and he looked outstanding on it. But it depends on what's going to be played into the top lane for CFO on Rest.
Yeah, and they're banning the Olaf out themselves. I'm not sure what that really signposts as a pick for Pun. Maybe something like, Set doesn't really like playing into Olaf very much, but the Set is more of a counter pick when a tank is picked on the other side, which not seeing so far. May well be somewhere Rest decides to go something like a Scion, but not necessarily going to be forced in this draft so far. This last ban, I would expect another top laner. If you're going to ban Volibear, you'd have to ban something normal as well. No, they banned Corki. Okay.
Okay, I don't mind the Corki ban. It still goes well into the Nautilus, but again, it's these sort of rotating supports that we're going to be seeing a little bit more. Nah being a really high priority pick here, and I love this because all the major sort of pans into it are gone. Like, usually you'd get like the Rumble, maybe the Olaf too. So Nah getting so much agency and priority here for this top side, and I really like this. What do you pick into it though is the big question.
I mean, it depends which way they want to go with it. If they just want to neutralize the lane, you could play tanks, that kind of thing. If you want to try and really win the lane, Vayne is open. You could just slam Vayne into this. Vayne can eat Nah for breakfast. If Rest is confident, I don't know how great that is compositionally, but they've got two good sources of engage already. You don't really need engage out of your top side. Yeah. I kind of just like the Vayne if Rest is confident in it.
But the question is Rest confident in it? Is the different stories. We'll have to see as they're going to be able to get this next pick. But what I'm noticing is the AD parry. Oh, Malphite being picked up. Okay, they're full sending.
Do you slam Silas here? Where would you? No, they just go the Kai'Sa. Okay. I actually think they could have tried to just slam Silas bot lane there.
I feel like Silas bot lane would have a really hard time into a Sivir.
Maybe?
Just thinking, maybe you're questioning it. Sivir's just going to
move the lockdown there instead.
You can't leave your tower. You'll be permanently, you can't leave, and then Leona's just going to lock you in. Like, you're relying on a Nautilus, and what, you only got a Malphite. Wait, is that a J4? No, I was going to say J4 top is craziness. All you've got is the Malphite R and the Shockwave. Everything else, maybe a Solar Flare too from Leona. I don't know if Silas would be the right answer. You save that for a game 3 or 4 where they're starting to get a little bit more dependent on that level 6. But okay, Carricks, we're in game, we're getting ready to go, coaches are walking out for the fist bump. Who do you think's got it?
I think compositionally, I actually really like what CFO has put together here. It's a very, very synergistic composition. It makes a lot of sense. You can go in, just delete a target with a Cataclysm, with the Unstoppable Force. However, it's Team Secret Wales. I can't pick against them.
Yeah, you read my mind. Just like, I look at it and I'm like, okay, there's a Cataclysm that's going to go down. If you pick up a Mega Gnar in that Cataclysm, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're trying to do, but we're on to the Rift, Carricks. Let's break it down.
Let's break it down. Of course, as the one thing to keep in mind here is that Kiana Locke pairing. If Histo can find his way into mid lane and there's any poke that has landed, Pout just explodes.
Yes, very true. They do explode. Shamrock Malphite is the correct answer for everyone in chat right now too. So we're seeing a little bit of a kerfuffle down in the spot side as well. Kino already burning one of those potions, and Subterranean Nautilus, yeah, that's the right answer as well. As Eddie now progressing very closely forward, does land the Acanthia Rain. I don't think there's going to be any major fights here. BA taking a half health, but very aggressive trades across the board.
Yeah, not actually able to pop the plasma stacks on Kano from Eddie, so not getting the best side of that trade. If he landed one more auto, he would have gotten a big chunk of damage. But it is just jostling for lane position, really. As another hook lands, Behead doesn't even bother following up with the auto attack. Just going to keep it all above board for now.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. That's not too bad. I think I want to talk about this mid lane for a second, because Locke is just this very interesting champion right now, and it's all about like landing those sort of nails and seeing how they're going to land. I think the reason I think it's risen so much in priority, not just because the numbers are still a little bit skewed and Wright's just trying to find his footing, I think it's also a case of the unpredictability of the champion. That's the one thing I think a lot of people keep sort of looking past, right? You got the Ashen Pursuit, so you do have these dashes to get out of things. You do have that all-in potential. I think that's a very under-realized, I'll say under-realized is the point of difference here, because no one knows how to play into it properly yet.
Yeah, I do think that's a big part of this, is his kit is so dynamic, so explosive, that if you make a mistake, he just kind of kills you. But if you don't make the mistake, I think he can be somewhat powerless sometimes. And it does just come down to teams need more exposure against the pick. He's been getting banned so often. I think this is only the second time I've cast him on the Rift, at least. I think he's been played a few more times when I haven't been on. But you just need to know exactly what he does. Because I feel like if you don't give him an angle, he can't make them himself.
Yes. There's a very good way of putting it. Like, if he gets given too much free reign in the game, which D-Ray obviously probably looking for a little bit of a back here, slightly up in gold, but not all that much, as a hook does go through. Now it is the return fire, as BA is going to get hit with that Zenith Blade. They are taken below half health. This is also the rough part here. Both Doggo and Eddie really need to wait for items to come online before they can really scrap out. So I see good resets coming out, and could be a fight at the Raptors. There's the KFC chicken bucket right now, as Shadow and Kino is here. D-Ray wants to join this party, but so does Pout, so you have to be so careful. BA at half health. There's the engage. Let's see if enough damage. Good flag and drag. He's going to hit. Kino is low. First blood going over, as BA does get out alive, and Histo untouched in this fight, looking for the 1v2. Here comes Doggo, looking for some more. The vision's good. Histo able to just dash over. Is it going to burn the flash? Nice work, but BA does land on the wall. It has to be... Shadow took the damage, and they traded the 1-for-1, but still Histo came out on top. D-Ray.
And now D-Ray lurks in a brush. Ooh, good ward.
Yeah, great ward from Pout. Able to look it out. And still, okay, dashes forward. Ashen Pursuit is good. It's a lot of damage. The exhaust is even better. Trying to lock him down. Flashes go forward. D-Ray just needs to get in range. Is able to pick up the kill. The Ashen Pursuit does get that reset. They have to get out of dodge. Here comes Eddie. Doggo has no mana. Has nowhere to go. The flash was used by Eddie. And it's just going to be enough. The heal is good. One more kid will do it. Eddie can't lock them down, and Doggo is on 1 HP. But Eddie says, no, that's fine. We'll pick up the support just in case. And I think Kino is not long for this world.
Kano, you're a hero. Your sacrifice will be remembered as he throws himself in front of the raging train that is Eddie.
So rough. Let's break this down though, Carrix.
Yeah, I mean, this was an incredible play. I think it is just this route that lands onto Kano that keeps things alive. His toe just pumps the damage in. BA managing to flash out. There was bad target selection for CFO. They weren't all hitting the same person. So now even as Doggo arrives, Shadow drops that flag a little bit short. It's a great flash that makes BA take a hook where he doesn't want to go, but it's kind of already too late, even with Shadow sort of just having that little whoopsie. This part is kind of incredible. I thought you put the ward down, okay, D-Ray is forced to back off now, but he just decides, actually, no, you're on the wrong side of the wall. You're not really together enough. And Siva, with no mana, doesn't do damage at this stage of the game. You see, he takes these auto attacks from Doggo. There's nothing else that Doggo can do. Just walks it out. I mean, Eddie is basically just a little bit damage capped. Just can't quite get through the heal. Kino, he knows he's dead at this point. As soon as he stepped up to try and get the heal onto Doggo, he has signed his own death warrant. It's the correct thing. You have to keep your ADC alive if you can.
Yep, 100%, especially for a Siva who wants to just get into these games. Now has the cull online for both sides, but it is going to be Doggo with a big lead. 80 already used up, so 80 left on that cull compared to 93 for Eddie. But Eddie picking up that kill gives him that big advantage of gold. So items across the board slowly coming online. Pun already picking up a phage. I like this. I'm excited to see the Triforce.
Yeah, I mean, an interesting choice here, just going straight for Triforce. I like it. Obviously not there yet, but certainly
well, do you
is
think
headed that way. I mean, you could go Black Cleaver against Malphite. That is true, but I kind of like just go Triforce, just really hard win this lane. You're playing a ranged matchup into Malphite. Once you get to sort of level 8, level 9, you just need to put him in the dirt.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way to do it. Yeah, we had Tanbark at my kindy, so I learned real quick not to put that in my mouth.
You had what?
Like Tanbark, you know, like the wood chips.
Oh, well, you can eat that too. It's just a little bit more coarse. Like sand, well, actually, sand's pretty coarse, but it's like a little bit easier because it's like you get a handful of sand. Whereas bark, you got to chew on it like that.
Yeah, and you get splinters and stuff. It wasn't great.
Yeah, no, it's always rough, but that's okay. Childhood's aside of eating unknown substances that we really shouldn't be eating. We're back on the Rift. 1.5k gold lead for Secret Wells as they are 4 kills to 1. So they have got a really commanding lead so far in this game. Every single sort of solo lane other than top is looking really good. Histo with a really nice lead thus far. And it's all going to be for Shadow to get proactive on the map as you do see the whole side of CFO have basically sent every member up towards this top side to pick up the grubs.
Yeah, they've put a lot into this. All 5 members there, as you said. Team Secret Wales is just kind of... I don't think they're actually going to find... Never mind.
Look, the previous player talent does go forward. Shadow looking for a bit more rest. Still had the unstoppable force, but doesn't use it just in time. But still, CFO pick up the void grubs. They win the fight.
Yeah, I think that was an interesting decision there. I thought what Team Secret Wales was going to try and do was sort of just show themselves a little bit. Oh, D-Ray floating around. I don't think he'll actually pull the trigger. I thought what they were going to try and do is just sort of float around there and be like, no, you have to keep all 5 here. We're not going to let you get any early recalls and the like. And then we're going to back off. It means Pun that can pick up some tower plates. It meant Eddie could catch waves. But then BA just got a little bit spicy. And hang on.
Ooh.
Not going to keep going.
double thumbs up going up. No shuckers needed for that one, unfortunately. We're seeing some good invasions into the jungle, but not being able to take too much away. Void Grubs being successfully picked up here, though. What does that really mean for CFO?
Look, it's nice to pick it up, especially because it's just not being immediately traded for the Dragon. Team Secret Wales is going to take that priority now, so it's a bit of a free objective to pick up. It does also mean that any time that Siva can spend in a side lane, if she's allowed to hit a tower, she'll take them quite quickly. Overall, I do think it was just cashing in tempo. I don't think they're an amazing grub team as much as those really exist. They don't have a Yorick like last game, but it's still, given that they got it basically for free, why wouldn't you take it?
Yeah, exactly. And now you can see as well, Eddie being looked at. Histo is waiting in the alcove, has the invisibility, but I think they've just spotted him just because one of those ricochets did bounce off and hit him in the bush. Now, Pun, he's been looked at dangerously though, doesn't have Mega Knight and Rest picking up a solo kill.
Yeah, I mean, it's denied the solo kill because the flag came in right at the last moment. DRA just going for a nice little trade onto Pout. No, it looks like an all-in, but that's just how Lock trades. But yeah, good stuff there. Just a play up to the top side. Pun caught out.
Oh, nicely picked up, and it is going to be that one kill. Let's have a look at this replay. So yeah, Mega Knight was halfway down before probably the fight started out. I think Pun just went a little bit too aggressive too quickly. And okay, in the live, we did just see a kill for Histo 2 up towards this top side. So Rest overstayed his position, but Unstoppable Force looked really good.
Yeah, it did. And I think Pun just overestimated himself a little bit there, because even if Shadow hadn't come in, Rest was going to win that one out. I mean, Malphite does some crazy stuff. So let's have a look at this one. We didn't quite see it because it was just in the picture-in-picture. Yeah, okay, Rest, you're not allowed to back there. And Kiana, of course, has plenty of CC to stop a teleport.
Yep, and everything went down, and our CFO looking at the first dragon of the game. It is a mountain. If they can secure this, it's a nice little pickup and really good objective control from CFO.
Yeah, they've got both the early objectives. I'll be pretty pleased with that. It has come at the cost of a gold lead for Team Secret Wales. Not something you want to do lightly, and they brought 4 members to gank Rest.
Oh, Rest, it's just sleepy time for you. I said this earlier in the week as well. CFO, it's not that Rest is actually maybe the weakest thing. As Eddie going all in, cleanse is good. Doggo has to flash and just get away. Nicely played. Eddie, full control of the spot side. Back to my initial point, Carrigs. Rest isn't the weak link, is he just gets targeted so hard.
Yeah, it's true. They do. Teams put so much into Rest, as Shadow should be able to get over this wall. He's okay. Was just scoping out a potential buff steal. But gets denied. You saw there that Eddie in the 1v1 up against Doggo wins that one extremely hard, which does make things pretty hard because you can't leave Doggo by himself now. You have to have someone hovering around. You have to dedicate vision to the bot side. And I don't think that's really where CFO want to be playing right now.
Yeah, it's so true. And that little fight up towards this top side and just little wins across the map is resulting in a 2.8k gold lead for Secret Wales. Not even slowly, they are just starting to snowball this game a little bit more at the 13-minute mark. Kino trying to just, again, you literally said it, you can't leave Doggo alone, but Kino has to rotate. They have to be tracking where Histo's going. As Willala now coming in with the first coach comms for CFO, maybe just to give a little bit of insight or re-get the boys back on track. I feel like they're not having a bad game. I think they're just getting caught out in a couple little areas, and it's Histo in the driver's seat making it work for Team Secret Wales.
Yeah, and I think these coach comms have been sort of a thing that people have been debating a lot about. They are an extremely powerful tool. There is the argument of if you're too reliant on them and then you go to Worlds where you're not allowed to use them, it can be a bit of a downside, but this is a fairly high stakes game. So I don't blame Woolala for just pulling the ripcord and having a chat to his boys.
I wonder, let's extend the debate a little bit further, and maybe we can ask Chad is, would we like to see Coach Comms at Worlds? Would we like to see it, maybe not towards like, maybe there's like a cutoff period of when you can't do Coach Comms when it comes to like semi-finals or something, but maybe leading up like the play-ins and stuff, maybe that's a Coach Comms situation. Would you like to see that?
I actually go the other way. I actually go the way of I'd like to see less Coach Comms. I'm a bit of a, I've been playing a lot of League Classic. I'm a bit of a boomer with it. I think once you load into the game, there are only 5 people that can influence the outcome of that game for each team, obviously. The coach's job, I think, ends once they walk off the stage. But that's just my opinion.
Okay, D-Ray again. Well, you know what? Fair enough. I can respect that. Is that I like Coach Comms just for the fact is it's if we could tell what they were saying, it would open up insight into how these teams actually talk and move. I think that's like the critical thing. That's what I'd love to see a little bit more of, especially from our side as English broadcasters, being able to know what these players are doing or understanding that the mindset is such critical information that I think any viewer could enjoy. And D-Ray has to be careful. Shadow is flagging over. Purgatory gets thrown out, but there is the Zach thumbs up just saying, all right, guys, I see you. Don't want to mess with that just yet. They do have to back away.
Yeah, just threw out a bit of a zoning purgatory there, and there was a zoning shockwave in response. I'm being nice and calling it zoning, as D-Ray did escape. And it's just meant that things have just stayed where they were. Histo starting up this Herald. I don't think CFO will think much of that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, pun. Okay, did decide to go for the Black Cleaver, so I'm sort of glad, but look at the damage it's doing. Poor Rest. Not even able to sleep at this point. It's just constant death as a hook goes forward. Let's see if they can do a little bit more as D-Ray is jumping back in. Zenith Blade to land. There's the depth charge. Supreme Slayer talent does go wide, and the Solar Flare now lands. Good stun out of Histo, locking down 2 and going back for a little bit more damage. See if they can get anything off it. As okay, Histo, where did he go?
Pun.
Looking for a jump, flashes forward, throws out a boomerang, gets a mega. Now the damage is good. Pout is holding on, and it's going to be handed over to D-Ray on a robotic silver platter.
Yeah, D-Ray kind of waited there for a second and went, all right, you missed both of those. This is mine then. Fair enough, mate. Just takes the kill for himself. Pun will get the wave to make him feel a little bit better. But that's a big explosive blade from Team Secret Wales. It will be a few tower plates to rest, but you'll happily make that trade as they accelerate to a 4,500 gold lead. Team Secret Wales, they're doing it again, Pike.
Yeah, look, this is the exact same play we saw in game 1. Is they send a little bit, but this time it was Secret Wales that said, all right, we're going to take this play hard to the top side. We're going to get a nice little fight here around the Dragon as Histo started up the Infernal. It's only the second one of the game. Kino, Rest, Shadow, all here. Same with Doggo. Eddie off to the side in a little bit of a solo capacity, but is happy to back off.
Yeah, D-Ray getting a tower as well. Still the Dragon on the map, so he may well collapse over, but that is a very, very wealthy lock. 3 kills, towers going over to him as well. It's getting a bit scary.
We're climbing mountains at this point, Carricks, because that gold graph is just going up, up, up for blue side. It's looking ever so much harder. It's a 6.3k gold lead. Dragon secured now for Secret Wales. They don't even have to be aggressive at this point. They can just keep playing at the current pace they are, and CFO can't respond. And look at Histo as well. It's a 20 CS lead plus some, 4-0-2. 2 items completed to Shadow's 1.5. That is rough.
Yeah, that is pretty brutal. That is a absolute canyon in the jungle. This Kiana is going to be going for one-shots. There's no really other way to put it. If you are caught by Histo, you don't survive that.
But it is CFO. There is a chance. They do have some tanky members on their side. Frozen Heart now completed for Rest, so it's going to delay a little bit more, at least get those slows off as well, considering it is a very sort of melee-based team, I would say. You do have Kiana, you do have D-Ray, you have the Lock. It's definitely going to be that interesting one, especially with Pun 2 on the Nah. So I like the itemization that's coming out. I just think it's maybe a little bit slow. But what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit tricky. What can you do, really? As the one thing that CFO can lean on is that Team Secret Wales aren't stacking up dragons. The dragons have been incredibly slow this game. Their Baron take is not super fast. I mean, Kai'Sa takes it very quickly, but Locke and Kiana are not the greatest Baron hitters in the world. So you should be able to stall this out, and you can always find a big Malphite ult. Malphite ult, it doesn't matter how far down you are. If you get a good enough one, you can win fights.
And I'm really loving Histo here being super aggressive, and they did smite it as well. So Histo just taking everything he can. He really is the embodiment of a pirate in this game. Secret Whales, they'll take what they can and give nothing back. So you can see Doggo now looking to take on D-Ray on the top side. Is able to clear these waves quite fast, but you can already see they're now looking for it. D-Ray maybe a little bit too far pushed up. Shadow looking for a fight. Flag and Drag is good. Ashen Pursuit used. They do have the Purgatory. Let's see as the Cataclysm is going to go forward. Not going to really be able to land on too much as the flash over the wall. Supreme Talent actually gets rest out. There's the Unstoppable Force. Flag and Drag back in. They do pick up D-Ray. It is going to go over to Doggo, who's picking up a little bit more as BA now caught out. TP, they've sent 5, and it is a double kill for Doggo. They find the answer, but at what cost?
Yeah, the fact that they had to call in that TP, that the initial assassination attempt did not work. The Supreme Display of Talent came in and kept him alive. I don't know if Pun's going to get this tower because he's not focusing, and he should be able to just about get it, given that he is able to go Mega Gnar. Just finished it off. He does. So it's an inner tower for 2 kills, but importantly, it's actually a very big shutdown over to Doggo. So now he's actually ahead of Eddie in the individual matchup, and Siva can always scale.
Yeah, that's incredibly true. That is the Siva power spike is getting those 2-3 items. I say it every time we see this champion. Downside, you don't have the pizza Siva, so you're not enjoying your food as much as you could. Instead, you're actually throwing real boomerangs, and where's the fun in that, Carrick? That's the big difference. But Baron on the board, but 21 minutes into the game, 6.3k gold lead for Secret Whales. Items heading into the 2-3 completed mark as BA again going and being aggressive on by Shadow, but lands the hook back. Dredgeline isn't going to do as much as they hope, but it is about this aggressiveness that we're seeing as CFO. They want to get this security and vision over the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, vision over the Baron has been established, but what? Okay, no, this is going to sound ridiculous, but positives for CFO. The gold lead hasn't gotten bigger. It was 6k a few minutes ago. It's been 6k for a little while. And yeah, okay, 6k is bad, but 8k is worse. So the fact that they're holding it there does mean that they're not falling further behind, and they do scale really well. They have a Siva, they have an Orianna. If this game goes long enough, if Team Secret Whales doesn't keep their foot on the gas, doesn't keep accelerating down the highway, they could lose this lead.
That's very true. I think the other side of that is we're waiting for Eddie to really come online. It's only a Kraken Slayer and a Ginsu's Rageblade now completed. Dragon up in 20 seconds. Note, it is a Cloud Soul in this game. Both teams love that extra bit of movement speed, not just in the jungle, but in general, being able to get around. So whichever team gets this stacking early and fast will be able to just move at lightning pace around the map. It's going to be so critical, especially for the likes of a Siva. While they're on the hunt, the movements would just be crazy, and it is CFO starting up the drag. Wait, they're flipping and they're just going to go for Baron?
Secret Whales are straight on Baron. Yep, they're going straight to it.
And Shadow's the one that actually stayed. He smited out the dragon. Can they take it fast enough, though, Carrick? That's the big question.
6,000 health already, and that smite was used. I don't think it's going to be back up in time. Baron is secured. They can get out as well. There's no catch from CFO. That is a masterstroke by Team Secret Whales.
Yeah, and you usually see it going the other way as a hook does go for Dredgeline. Not going to be able to do too much. Shield is there, but Baron secured. The gold lead is now 8k for Secret Whales because CFO thought they had the advantage. They thought they could go for the dragon. They were looking for maybe a little of a fight. Nah, Secret Whales, they're so far ahead. They'll just go Baron instead, and they're pulling off a masterclass play in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, the gold graph is the worst roller coaster of all time. It's just up and up and up. As now it's 8k. The lead only gets bigger. Eddie now 2.5 items, should be able to get 3 very, very soon. This Kai'Sa will be doing absolutely apocalyptic damage.
Yeah, it doesn't have that evolved Void Seeker though, so with that extra bit of movement speed, they should have the evolved E, so they should be able to run around. As BA might be in a little bit of a pickle, but no, it's just a little bit of vinegar in the jar, but it hasn't been pickled just yet. BA is just going to walk away, just securing this vision. Now they're looking at pun, rest, pout up here. And remember, there's a ball delivery system right in front of you. It's in the form of a mountain, Carrix.
Yep, the walking mountain.
For some reason, I was about to make a horse sound. I go, no, but no, that's not a thing. Let's not worry about that.
Is that what the mountains sound like where you're from?
Yeah, it's a mountain.
The Team Secret Wales are walking it down there. A mountain, I don't know, or something, you know, something deep and bassy. That's what a rock would sound like. But
he's getting caught out. The Pout has to be very careful. His toe is here, going to be able to lock them down. There's Pud, goes Mega, hits the Nah. Shadow wanting to join back into the team fight, but Secret Wales, they're just too clean, and it's a little bit too hard as Shadow flag and drags into the wrong spot. Cataclysm goes on to Eddie. Solar Flare is going to hit as the Kill Instinct gets them out of dodge. Rest is low. That's their take. Look at D-Ray. He's looking for more. He picks up one. He's going to be able to pick up a little bit more as there is Dog on the back line picking up this Nah, but they take the tower too. Eddie wants the blood. He's looking for everyone. Kino's trying to run, but no, Eddie has a different plan. A double kill for the AD carry of this TSW roster. And now they're looking at a top inhib, and wow, 10k gold lead, Carrix.
yeah, they push past 10k. Shadow will stop them from breaking the base just for now as DRA sets up the way for mid. They will get all of the other towers as the base is all that's left. Let's have a look at how this happened. They thought they caught Pun, but unfortunately his toe was there, landed an excellent two-man supreme display of talent. The extra health from Meganar keep Pun alive as well. And at this point, you're fighting without your Orianna, with your Malphite too low to effectively do anything. And even with BA missing that hook, looking a little bit silly, it just doesn't matter. They are just able to run them down. D-Ray comes in, gets one of the easiest kills he'll ever be presented on a lock. Shadow actually plays this really well. Does manage to survive, and it's the only reason they don't lose the inhib, potentially lose the game. So well done to him, but it's not enough to save them.
No, definitely not enough. As okay, Rest actually doing the most damage in the game. Very, very surprising on that one, but it's followed up by 3 members of Secret Wales, all trailing very closely behind. Eddie now really starting to show up 3-0 and 0. They've picked up that Phantom Dancer now. So they're going a bit of that crit damage, and I really like it. I love this sort of Kai'Sa build.
Yeah, I love Crit Kai'Sa. I think if you want to take over a game and really carry, this is how you do it. You just go for maximum damage, just jump in, try and get assassinations down. I think looking at a Malphite, at a Jarvan, that's what you want to be doing. You need to cut through that front line. There's no bandying about with other builds. This is just damage, damage, damage.
Yeah, and with a Noon Quiver as well, I suspect that could be an Immortal Shield Bow, just for that added safety of, like, if you do get jumped and they send everything, a big shield is enough for you to just reset yourself and try and reposition. But it really depends. Like, there are a couple other items that could come out of that Noon Quiver. We'll have to see, as next Dragon up in 10 seconds, and already Secret Wales are heading that direction.
Yeah, they're heading up there. As it will be a Dragon for Team Secret Wales as well. This is sort of just a bit of a housekeeping pickup, really. Dragon Soul is not super relevant this game. Both teams are so far away from it. You don't want to have the off chance of CFO taking it, so there's nothing else on the map. Go do the housekeeping Dragon. But with your 12k gold up, you're not waiting another 10 minutes to end this game.
No, that's not where you want to be, is his toe being very aggressive. Level 18 for his toe right now. Look at Shadow. He's level 14. What is going on? That might be one of the biggest level gaps we've seen in the LCP. That's incredibly huge. Now, tier 2 going down. Oh, man. It's been a rough one for Shadow. They just don't have an answer to it.
Yeah, exactly. He has just been completely locked out of this. The Kiana was picked really early. I sort of questioned the amount of priority that was put into it, but I mean, I don't blame them with how his toes performed on it. He's been everywhere. 4 items completed. The Serpent's Fang picked up as well. So all of the shields that can be put out just don't matter at all. It's an MVP performance, at least in game 2 from his toe. He has been everywhere.
Yeah, now with the Baron spawning, You have to be very careful as there's a TP now coming out. He's just trying to look for the scuttle, but just waves and waves of CFO looking to lock this one in. They want to maintain that vision control. But still, 12k gold lead is pretty hard to deal with when they can just walk at you and take half your health. We'll have to see whether this is, because look at the top side. It is going to be his toe walking, just maybe looking for the flank angle.
Yeah, they go in on rest, but he is a tanky boy, even as he's slammed into the tower.
Of course, great work out there. Rest actually is going to be taken off the board. But look at this. This toe does the damage. D-Ray comes in, clutch the thumbs up, just to say, boys, that was clinical. Great dredge line does come out as well. Kino has nowhere to go. Team Secret Wales, they are unrelenting as they clean ace CFO in this game too. They are looking to take the 3-0 absolutely convincingly. They want to dethrone the team that holds the title all of last year. They will not stop. They take the mid inhib. Now they're looking at the Nexus. 30 minutes into this game, Team Secret Wales, they take us to match point because they are the absolutely monstrous team of the LCP.
They are so good, Pike. They just look completely on top. This is the 2-0 matchup. This is the two current best performing teams, and it doesn't look like it. It just looks like Team Secret Wales just walking their way to the playoffs.
That's also the scary thing is when we talk about the top two teams right now, Carricks, and Secret Wales are making them look like a bottom 3 team. It's actually insane. It's pretty bad. It's pretty scary, I guess, is probably the better word. But CFO, they have to rally. They have to find something, because at the moment, Team Secret Wales, they don't even look like they've broken a sweat. Is he flexing on camera? Like he's like, yeah, I'm good like this. Let's just start posing for the camera, guys. Like, I'm ready for my close-up. I love that. That's his toe, by the way. Let's look at the damage charts and see what was going on. Yes, we did see that there was a lot of damage from this Malphite, but Eddie came out clutch on this Kai'Sa and pipped the post. And we talked about how the Civil was meant to be a bit more of this late game. Same with the Orianna. They just never got there. Secret Wales had full control start to finish, and it started off, this was that early fight character that we thought, again, looked good for CFO until it just kind of didn't.
Yeah, it's very similar to game one, really, where it was fighting back and forth. It was a very active game where CFO were throwing jabs, sort of, blocking punches, but eventually the haymaker gets through. Even just this early fight that was so strange. CFO, I don't know, they've found ways to sort of chip away at the armor of Team Secret Wales, but I'm not convinced that they've really made them bleed yet.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I talked about how Secret Wales, they have this huge stainless steel armor. It is thick, it is strong. The champion pool is diverse. I think, yeah, once you get one of those piercing arrows through, does it actually make the flesh? And right now, we have not seen God bleed just yet, because Team Secret Wales, they really are feeling very, very good in this series. And it just feels like Secret Wales, it's not just that they're playing well, but they just know what CFO is going to do. They're reading them so well, and it's not that even CFO is being predictable, is that Team Secret Wales just know this gameplay. They've seen it all before. They can just be better. They know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're completely correct. It looks like maybe these two have been scrimming a lot this split, or Team Secret Wales, their coaching staff are just performing absolutely out of their minds. It's probably a little bit of both, as Warhorse has been an incredibly good coach for this team. Shout outs to him for sure, because yeah, it looks like, I don't think CFO, again, no player on CFO you can point to and just say they had a bad game, they made lots of mistakes. It was just Team Secret Wales being better, but we've got one more game. Any final words before we head to a break?
No. let's just full send it. Let's go to this break. Let's have some fun. Go get some popcorn, guys. Get your drinks up. Go to the bathroom. Get those resets in, because the next game should be just as explosive. We're going to have to see if CFO is going to come back and make this your 3-1 prediction, or is Team Secret Whale just going to look so unkillable? These gods might just have the goods. I think we'll go to a break. We'll see you in a sec.
Các chị hậu hồi xưa nay về đó hả?
Welcome back, everybody. It's game 3 of Team Secret Wales and CFO. Once again, my name is Karis. With me is the ever wonderful Pike. And how are we feeling with your prediction so close to correct?
Look, my prediction was there, but if you just saw, I was praying, hoping CFO could pull something out. There was just way too much going on. Secret Wales are looking so damn good. They are on point. They're feeling themselves. CFO have got their work cut out for them tonight here, Carrick. But the prayer was real. I said my amens. We're just going to hope the Rito gods will deliver the goods.
Hopefully, CFO can find something, because Team Secret Wales have looked completely unbreakable. We're not too far away from our third draft of the night. I've been spending the break thinking about what we could pick to try and get over them in this one, and I haven't come up with any great answers, Pike. Can you help me out?
Yeah, okay. So picks, we're looking for something to shake things up. We're looking for a disruptor for CFO. This is where they're going to really shine. We know the disruptor's best identified in this bot lane. You know what? I think that Caitlyn Lux idea you had might be the solution.
I think it's always good when if you can get Eddie onto a mage, if you can force him to do it and just put Caitlyn Lux in his face, keep BA in lane. I do think that's a good start, because BA has been a bit of a menace.
BA's been looking so has Eddie. Like the whole of Secret Wales are looking really good, but we can't keep talking about how good this team is. We need to start talking about how CFO can find the solution. My big thought process, and the reason I went to that Caitlyn Lux sort of combo, is I want to see a really good, solid sort of front line from the top. I want to see, I guess the Malphite is probably like those traditional tank champions you want to see, but I want to see something maybe like a Scion, a Cassante, maybe even, and dare I say, a Dr. Mundo potentially on the riff for CFO, because we know if it gets the lead, if it just stays somewhat untouched throughout the early phase, it can do so much. But now we can see Team Secret Wales chose blue side yet again, and CFO chose first pick. So that definitely tells they are looking for a little bit of a shake-up too, but bans coming out looking very similar.
Yeah, I wouldn't change up the bands too much if I was Team Secret Wales. I still don't think you want to play against Doggo's Ezreal ever. I don't think anyone really does. I think taking Vi away from Shadow makes sense when he's on really just a firm, solid engage. I think that's when he looks his best. I might consider something like Pantheon as well, banned away. I'd definitely at least think about it if I was Team Secret Wales. That is something Shadow does go to. But they just banned the Rise instead. They attack Power.
Look, I actually like this. I think D-Ray has, like I said at the start of the night, D-Ray's been playing this Rise quite a bit, or has been showing on it, and it just isn't having the same performance I like to see. So obviously now they're thinking Pout is a pretty good Rise. They're very strong that late game. Maybe we just take it away. But Rumble now being hovered here for CFO with that first pick is a great team fighter, and it's hard to answer in this top side, but they just hover set straight away.
Yeah, I mean, set would be a bold one into the Rumble. As we've been kind of saying, the set is normally a counter pick into tank, so no, he just goes over and just goes, fine. We'll play Rumble Cassante, and BA will go to Bard. This is still 2 picks that don't show which direction this comp is really going in.
Well, I know one of them's going top, one of them's going support, so we have some kind of direction, but I think it's a little bit different to what you're thinking too. But you know what? I love just throwing you a little spanner in the works for your characters. It's always a lot of fun. But now, the big thing here is, what do you pair with the Rumble? And if they go Caitlyn Lux here, I'm going to absolutely lose it. There's the Caitlyn, and that is now locked in. And okay, looking at the Karma instead, still a lot of poke, a lot of agency. I kind of like this.
Yeah, Caitlyn Karma is very similar to Caitlyn Lux. It's not quite as aggressive, but it does the same thing. It forces BA to stay in lane, because it doesn't really matter what you pick here for Eddie. You're not getting priority against that lane.
Yeah, I think the big question here is like, what's the carry that's going to go up against it? And obviously the Jhin is a nice answer. You still have a lot of that range. You get a little bit of that freedom too with Bard wanting to rotate around. So you are just going to be trying to clear out these waves. Obviously, you're still waiting for those 2-3 item spikes to really hit before you can do too much. If you hit the 4 item spike as Jhin, you really do come online, because 4 is the magic number for this champion.
Yeah, true, very true. Is able to sit pretty far back, should be able to survive up against the onslaught that CFO is going to give. Trundle being banned out, I like that. That's something that Shadow has gone to several times when they have this aggressive comp. Really hard to outplay Rumble Trundle when they go top, even with the Pathmaker from Cassante. You can't Pathmaker around the pillar, really. Xin Zhao gone. There's no junglers picked, so the jungle pool is going to be pushed pretty low. Something like Poppy is rising in priority, even though there are no real dashes picked up. I think she's still just a good serviceable pick.
Skarner sort of rises in priority here a little bit more too. You want to get that really strong lockdown the front line too. So I actually see CFO maybe like teetering, but it's automatically banned. So they sort of saw where I was heading with that one and read my mind too. Sejuani could actually be a really good pickup for CFO here. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I think Sejuani would actually go really well. Just a little bit of frontline, a lot of engage. I like that a lot if we do go that way. Skarner being banned out, sort of a similar pick to that frontline and engage. Pantheon, it's actually CFO banning it away. I think you have to pick a jungler here. Otherwise, you're going to be getting the scraps.
Yeah, well, okay. Look, maybe I am. Maybe my future Haki's really kicking in because that's a Mundo being looked at. Now it's a Kane, so obviously the Haki's not doing too good. Kha'Zix with a bug means a Sejuani does rise in priority if you do go for that Kha'Zix too, but it's an Olaf, the tried and true, being locked in.
Really interesting. They're going for the Olaf jungle. It's not where we often see this champion at the moment. He is pretty often in the top lane, but still completely serviceable. Is able to get onto the Caitlyn. I mean, a lot of the setup for Caitlyn just trying to use a slow with the net, build trap walls. Olaf doesn't necessarily care about that, but at the same time, Olaf doesn't like getting clicked on with a headshot.
No. Ooh, and that's a Poppy being locked in, so I believe that is going to go for the jungle matchup as well. You called that one, Carrix. It is still such a high priority pick, but it's all about these dashes going forward. The really only dash right now is Pun on this Cassante, so there's not going to have that huge agency out of it, but a shield is always going to be valuable in a team fight. So I do like where they're heading, and now it comes down to this mid laner. Some of note, you probably could look at potentially like the Talia if it's available. You got things like the Akali and the Aurora being the final solution.
Yeah, okay, so just a lot of damage coming in, just really wanting to be able to assassinate anyone on Team Secret Wars. I don't know if you can pick Annie here. I feel like you need more damage. Silas could work. I think there are some good ults. Yeah, there's some great ults to steal. Silas, yeah.
I was going to say Ari could have been a really good answer too, but yeah, Silas being locked in, you do have quite a bit. The Equalizer is the #1 call, and then you'd be following it up with the Auroras.
Yeah, totally agree. Both of these teams are incredibly scrappy. There's a lot of burst damage. There's a lot of pick potential. We might be in for a bit of a messy game.
I love a bit of a scrap, Carrix. I know you love a good scrap too, but the one thing that's sort of like maybe the little inkling in my mind that I'm like, how does this actually work, is Histo's Olaf in the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, that's a strange one, right? Like, I feel like something like Sejuani was still there. I don't know if it would have fit Team Secret Wars super well. They would have been very low damage, but still, I'm just curious to see how this plays out. I don't really remember the last time I saw a jungle Olaf.
I love it. Just flip it upside down if it doesn't work for the scoreline. I love it. Oh, but I love that they were keeping score for us as well, chat. That's always a good thing. But now we're entering into game number 3, Carrix. This is the decider.
Yeah, it really is. Can Team Secret Wars lock themselves into playoffs, or will CFO keep up the fight and take us to a game 4? We'll have to find out as we load in to Summoner's Rift.
I'm already scared for members of CFO charging into this bot side of the jungle. Always a dangerous spot, but now D-Ray being caught out, and BA, okay, says, I would love this fight as a nice barrier is being used. BA might have to look for a reset As all of this vision being secured. Pun and Histo on the other side. Heal being used by Karma as well. That's a lot of summoners being burned. As Look at Pout has to flash. Pun might be looking for a little bit more, as Rumble still hasn't come down. Rest is not even moving just yet. I think Pout's just dead. First blood locked in, and it goes over the delay.
I feel like that was a massive mistake by Pout, just pathing just the wrong way, I think. A little bit sloppy. I'm not sure if he was forced that way. We'll have to have a look at the replay. But it's a great start for Dire in mid.
Well, especially a Silas. Like, what champion on this roster do you not want to give an early lead over to? Carrix, that's the question. And I think on your list, it is just this Silas. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a very uphill battle.
It's pretty much as bad as it could be because you gave the kill to Silas and an assist to the Olaf. I think those are the two champions you really don't want getting an early lead. But let's have a look at this. I don't mind CFO. They just go aggressively in to try and get that Raptor ward down. They move really well as a team. They are getting pincered, but I feel like if you all walk into the river on your way out, you're fine. There's not the two Secret Whales can't engage onto that, but Pout just goes the other way. I mean, even if he doesn't get caught here, you're burning your flash 100% of the time. And in this situation, you burn your flash and you die. It's a very silly mistake.
Yeah, you can even see on the cams too that Pout was not happy with that overall sort of play and dying that quickly. The mental can go so fast, especially in like a best of 5, not just a best of 3. It's double flashes forward, but Team Secret Whales, they are aggressively going forward. They want to get these kills.
Yeah, they're aggressing onto the Caitlyn lane, which is definitely not what we want to be seeing if we're CFO fans. But doesn't end up working out. So now it is Team Secret Whales down flashes. We could see Shadow make a trip down there in the next few minutes. Though he is, of course, on the other side of the map for now.
Yeah, getting a couple summoners out of there too was double TPs burnt for the side of Secret Whales just to get back to their lanes. But a Darksteel being picked up and, okay, good CC. Eddie able to lock them down. See if that Deadly Flourish is going to be enough. But Kino, still quite healthy. You are a Karma. It's the early game. Shields are pretty strong, but looking for a good reset. Farming is good. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to shove this one in for CFO.
Yeah, they're getting in. Reasonably happily at the moment is Histo just checking it out, clearing out some vision. He's strong enough that there's not going to be any contest on him taking the Raptors. A Shadow is on the bottom side of the map. Team Secret Whales looking pretty happy.
Like these emotes. Does any other league emote as much as the LCP? I think we've said this multiple times.
Not even close, yeah.
They all emote so aggressively, and whenever someone's just spam emoting me in my games, you know what? It's hard to tilt me, but that tilts me pretty hard.
Oh yeah. When you take a bad trade and just get hit with the emote, you're just like, oh God. It's hard to maintain the mental as CFO are going to have a little sticky beak into the opposing jungle, but they'll find an angry Histo.
In a flash, but a lot of members looking for some as the heal being used yet again. Traps did go down, but Shadow looking for something. They burnt, just flash to get out though. D-Ray has the damage.
Another trade.
Be careful. Ignite being used, the flash being used also. So D-Ray doesn't want a full commit, knowing Kino is in the area. You have to be so respectful.
Yeah, didn't want to fall victim to a flash E from Kino, changing the maths on solo kills. As, BA, sneaky.
Getting caught as Histo is here. Deadly Flourish is going to miss, and BA has to be super careful. There's a lot of damage going forward. Magical Journey keeps him alive.
Didn't quite get the Caitlyn trap under him while he was locked up by Kino, so no headshot came in, means no kill. As now Eddie has to fend for himself for a little bit, which is not a lot of fun with the wave pushing away from him.
Oh, look, that's okay. Like, maybe you get a little bit of gold. They've already picked up those nice little Swifties, so obviously it's a little bit of that movement. Kino did stay, looking to just get those mantras off and hold Eddie in. Yeah, it is a bit of a tall order. If Doggo plays this right, they might be able to just hold this under tower for a really long time, but it is Eddie. They're going to try and force this one at least under because Dragon is up.
Dragon is up. So far, Dragon has been a very low priority objective for both of these teams in our first 2 games. As good trade there by D-Ray. Does have that hijack as well, so do need to be very careful around him. This ward behind the red buff has been there for a while now, getting a lot of value for CFO.
Ooh, his toe. Yeah, landing some axes, landing those throws. The undertow is pretty good. But Eddie Nabi caught out, flashed on by Keenan. They have to be so careful. The root is nice. There is enough damage. And the final shot for Doggo is going to secure a 1-for-1. Nice kill there. Locked out.
Yeah, and see, this is why I've been advocating for Caitlyn lanes so much, is BA goes for a walk. He's trying to do the roaming support thing that is so common at the moment, but you can't do that. Not into this lane. They will just kill your ADC.
Yep, so true. Twin Four between worlds being picked up here by D-Ray, so it is going to be 2 between worlds being used, and between worlds now confirmed to be used, as it was D-Ray able to throw that one out. But don't worry, Carrix, there's another between worlds that will be coming at you. Between worlds.
I love going between worlds as I mean, you got to remember that this series is about going to worlds. It's not between them. But going to playoffs is how the LCP lock in those 3 slots for playoffs. Team Secret Wales obviously gunning for that first seed and almost locked into one of the seeds at least. Obviously still need to work hard to get the first. CFO, oh, hang on.
Between worlds.
All right. Fair enough.
I don't know how many times I can say that in a game. I think I've already said it about 15 times. That was all on purpose, though. But first Dragon going over here, his toe, playing on this Olaf in the jungle. Nice to see that they're trying to get a little bit more proactivity. Is Dragon being picked up at just shy of the 8-minute mark.
Yeah, it is not too bad here by Team Secret Wales, just able to get a little bit of an objective going. They're surviving these aggressive lanes from CFO, a Rumble, a Caitlyn. Haven't broken anything open yet. They should be able to steal away a Grub.
Yeah, should have been looked at too, but nice work. The 90 caliber net is going to keep them back. Void Grubs, only 2 was successfully picked up for CFO, so they're not going to get the full might, but get a little bit of that extra damage. So not the end of the world, and still a good little successful play there for CFO.
Yeah, not too bad at all. They do get the good side of the Grubs, as you said. But I'm a little bit worried that this very early game team is 400 gold behind. I'd be expecting them to be ahead. Doggo just happily hiding in that brush, but I do want to see them try and accelerate things a little bit, because I don't think you can just keep your head down and try and outscale this Team Secret Wales team.
That's very true. Once we get Histo really into these team fights, I think that's the big difference we see, at least from this early game compared to the last 2 games, is Histo was so proactive early and able to do so much. Playing a champion like Olaf, you can't really do that. You need to be level 6, you need to have the Ragnarok, and you need to be in a really smart position. You need to be in these sort of jungles looking for something, because that's where you can get free agency to charge people down. You haven't really seen that yet, unfortunately. And now with D-Ray picking up the equalizer for themselves, this could be a really good point for them to maybe look for something.
Yeah, could certainly try and find a little bit, as there's a lot of members on this bot side. I don't think Team Secret Wales will pull the trigger on it, though, as they know Shadow is here now.
Yeah, clearing out those wards. Shadow just looking to secure the Gromp. Kino and Doggo need to be careful as the ace in the hole is going to go through. But look at Histo. He's on the backside, throws the axe. There's the Ragnarok. This was the play we were waiting for. Histo picks up the kill, and they're going to walk away with that as an easy lockdown. D-Ray between worlds, going a little bit too far forward underneath that tower, has to flash away, and Pout gets the successful win on that one.
Yeah, is a good trade there by Pout, just forcing D-Ray back, keeping this Silas honest, but it's the bot lane play that really breaks open. Just not quite reading where his toe had gone. Shadow was just moved over to grab his buff, but his toe was still there, able to just run in, find an angle, and get a really nice play on the bot side.
Is starting to slow down a little bit more, but a 1.3k gold lead for Secret Whales is good. Items now being completed. Stride breaker for his toe. We got the proto belt now locked in for D-Ray, whereas nothing yet on the other side. So the acceleration in this mid and jungle side for Team Secret Whales is coming up with the goods.
Yeah, 100%. As Eddie still just able to farm up, clear out some waves. He's behind in the matchup, but that's expected.
Only picking up that Dirk, so prioritizing those boots was the right call. And we can see good vision control out of CFO topside.
Yes, there is a bit of a spot here. His toe onto Shadow, pops the Ragnarok.
Yeah, nothing to do. Between Worlds is going to be used. Poppy trying to send them just absolutely flying, but it does land, so they're able to reset the fight with the Keeper's Verdict.
Yeah, really good use of the Poppy ult there. The Poppy Copter just got D-Ray completely out of there. I think could have been at least one kill for the Whales had he not landed that. So good stuff for sure, but definitely need to play very careful around his toe.
Absolutely. Have to be careful. Is next dragon up in 35 seconds, Carrix? It is going to be a cloud. Do you like it?
We've been seeing a lot of clouds tonight, so I'm happy it's not another Cloud Soul. Is just going to be that one Cloud Drake. I think CFO will be looking to get that one, try and use this Caitlyn Karma lane, get some prio on the bot side, cash it in as much as they can, just to stop any sneaky dragon stacking for Team Secret Whales.
Another ace in the hole as the Tempered Fate goes forward. Kino has to flash just to stay somewhat relevant, and that is Histo was making their way to bot side. But with those being burnt, I think they just look for a reset before they go towards this dragon.
Interesting. I'm not sure he did have to flash. I'm not sure how much follow-up there was, but he doesn't know that, so I don't necessarily blame him. But no flash up on the support as Dragon's coming up. It's not ideal. It's not the worst person to have it blown on, of course. As Pun and Rest, I mean, this is Rumble Cassante. You stand in the Flame Spitter, desperately trying to clear the wave, and he can't do enough damage.
Yeah. And now BA as well, taking a little bit of poke. D-Ray now in a little bit of a predicament, getting it smashed into the wall, has to be very, very careful. No final, but it's going to be enough. Between Worlds is used. D-Ray has to be so careful, but they get out alive. They committed, but they couldn't execute.
Yeah, I mean, don't quite kill him. I think it was a little bit silly if D-Ray used his rocket belt to try and just clear out the last caster minion there, but got a poppy charge into a wall for his trouble, so had to burn his ult, had to get a lot of his team to come over and help. Thankfully, though, because of where the wave has been and where Team Secret Whales is reacting, there's no immediate dragon punish, so really not losing a huge amount in the end.
Yeah, no, 100%. And D-Ray with the Keeper's Verdict now unlocked, so be able to reset these fights too, as Histo now solo down here, looking at this dragon, but looking for a little bit of a scrap. Pout is here, so is Shadow. Double TPs now making their way down. Keeper's Verdict from the Silas is going to send them flying. Rumble now taken out. There is going to be a little bit more. The Tempered Fate is going to land. Shadow's looking to fight just anything that can. Ragnarok has been summoned, but Histo is low, being burnt out. Flash over the wall, Equalizer dropped, but D-Ray on the backside. Pout is gone, and it looks like Histo's going to survive, and they are probably going to look to reset this one. Shadow low, but not as low as Histo. Dragon is being taken. Traps are going to go down, but the damage is good. Secured by Histo. Now they're looking for a little bit more as the charge is even better. Shadow is just a shadow of a doubt that they cannot secure these dragons in time. And Secret Whales lock in a 2.2k gold lead.
Well, I mean, everything was going reasonably well there for CFO. They got a massive chunk onto his toe, but don't manage to get the kill, so they lose the dragon, they lose the fight, and once again, Team Secret Whales just accelerates their way into the lead.
And it's not that they're like winning really, like that fight just then, and we're gonna watch it anyway. It doesn't look like Secret Well are super far ahead. Like he's so clearly getting burnt out, had to bear the flash, Equalizer dropped. It was just that Secret Wells just played better around breaking it up.
I think the big mistake was burning the Equalizer. His toe gets over that wall and Rest throws an Equalizer to try and finish him off. And I understand the intention. You take the jungler out of the dragon fight, it makes sense. But imagine if he had turned around and had the Equalizer. I think they win the fight with a good Equalizer across the team. So it's just a split-second decision by Rest that I don't think works out.
Yeah, you're so right. I fully agree with that. It makes the most sense. And even then, D-Ray doing a lot of damage, 2k, but wow, look at Doggo, still very relevant. Getting those optics online means that extra bit of range is going to do a lot of hurt. But we've got a Ghost Blade now confirmed for Eddie, so a little bit of that mobility. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
I like it.
I like being able to move quick. Yeah, big fan.
Speed.
As D-Ray just chilling here with Rest, has that stolen Equalizer, could just use it to clear the wave, or just use his chains. Both work.
No, there's another fight coming up soon, and okay, looks like Shadow's wanting to take this fight here. Equalizer
this might be where the Equalizer goes.
Keep it burning, cancel it out as they send through the lockdown. Shadow has got to be absolutely devastated with that as the gold goes over to D-Ray.
Oh, the timing was just so perfect by D-Ray. Lands that abscond abduct right as he's hit, and now they're going to dive onto Rest.
Oh, nothing Rest can do. D-Ray picks up another kill. Accelerate this Silas even more. 4-0-0. They have a 1.8k gold lead right now, Carrix. What can you do when a Silas gets this fed?
Not a lot, unfortunately. Silas was able to topple the monarchy of Demacia, only being fed on rats. So when he's actually got good cuisine, I don't think you can stop him.
I hear they're high in protein. A little bit stringy, though.
I guess. Yeah, I wouldn't know. There was a place near where I used to live that got. There was a place near where I used to live that got caught making rat dumplings.
Oh.
Wasn't great, but anyway, Pout's getting done.
Double between worlds. Oh, they stood at the same time, but Pout just a little bit quicker on the draw, gets out of dodge. Wait, Rest.
Yeah.
Why are you here, my guy?
TP'd in to help and decided that maybe not.
That's gross. Why'd they do that? Let's not get into it. I'm sure they were delicious.
I'm going to be real. I did have them once and I didn't know. Anyway, so.
You never know until the report comes out. But now we're coming back into it. Yellow card. They're saying, please, why do you keep walking up to me? As Doggo went forward a little bit too quickly. It does get hit with a lot of damage as the Tempered Fate is going to lock down all out to Eddie. Lands the shot. It's enough. He hits the double. He's cleaning up in the curtain call, and the show is just too good. Equalizer just dropped. Just for funsies, BA has to be so careful. Pout gets the teleport off, but isn't going to be enough as the rest of Secret Wales. They swarm in masses. Eddie picking up more kills again. They take the tier 1. The lockdown's even better. Now they summon the Rift Herald. They get the clean ace at 19.5 minutes here, Carrix. Secret Wales, they are undeniable.
I mean, what is there even to say? This team is just too good, Pike. CFO played a lot of this game quite well, and then 2 little mistakes happened back to back, and you're so just out of it immediately. Look at Eddie in this fight. I mean, Doggo goes way too aggressive. 90 calibering net forward. He's just chunked out of the fight, but then bang, 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 bang. Oh. I don't need to say anything more detailed or intelligent, because it was just Eddie opening up the sniper's delight as he just destroys them in mid lane.
there's nothing you can really do. Like, they're just sort of funneling at this point. And this is the one thing you say this in solo queues: do not go in one at a time. And that is exactly what CFO just did. They could not contain themselves, and they've paid so dearly. 20 minutes, and it is a 9.5k gold lead for Team Secret Wales. If they can do this faster, they might be able to look at a Baron here and now.
Yeah, I mean, they're now nearly 10,000 gold up. They're taking towers wherever they want them. They're items ahead. As, yeah, that is quite the gold graph. Once again, the worst roller coaster ever, because it just goes up and up. Just climbing constantly. Is unfortunately CFO, I think they picked a really aggressive, scrappy draft, but have just not been able to make these aggressive fights work. Team Secret Wales have just outhandsed them.
And you know what? Big props to BA here too. Yes, all the kills are sort of, they're on D-Ray. Yeah, his toes had a really good game. Pun 107. BA is 0-0-11. That's like a support dream score right there. Is like, you haven't died, but you're impacting almost every single fight. The 10k gold lead is fully ticking over between worlds now being used. Pound trying to jump back in. D-Ray has to flash. Have to be very careful. The curtain call does get summoned now. Let's see if these shots land. 3. Let's get the fourth one in. He does take him out. And look at the damage. Double kill yet again for this Jhin. Eddie is absolutely unstoppable. They do pick up Pun on this top side, but Eddie will not stop. A force drop, throws the grenade and an ace again. Team Secret Wales, they don't just want to win, they want to dominate.
I mean, they're just humiliating CFO in this game. There was nothing there. There was no objective to fight for. And they just say, nah, I'll ace. And just get 5 across the map. This is destruction.
This is borderline hard to watch here, Carrix. That's the truth in it. And to cast it as well is rough, because this was the fight towards topside where Pun did go down, but his toe came for the cleanup.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Pun just does his job. He dies in the end, but that's fine. You're playing Cassante. You don't mind dying to make sure your Olaf gets 2. But let's have a look at Eddie. Look at the move speed. He gets that crit on the minion, just sprints forward, unloads the 4th shot and the grenade, and there's nothing that can be done. They'll start up with Baron. They've got no fear. If CFO comes and fights them, sure, go ahead. Fight us. See how it goes.
And you know what? We don't even have to look at items right now. I just want to look at bounties. 608 gold bounty on his toe. There's a 700 gold bounty on D-Ray. There's 660 on Eddie, and it's just going to get worse and worse. Like, yes, if you get the pick, amazing. You're going to be able to get so much gold back into it. But will it help at this point? Like, that's the scary part. Look at Pun. He's just tower diving. He's just tanked 4 shots, 5 shots, and he did not care.
Yeah, he doesn't care at all. Just shakes it off, just walks backwards a little bit. Is really just waiting for his team to arrive so that he can have a bit more fun. As all 5 members of CFO have to come up here just to contend with 2 members of Team Secret Wales.
And just leaves D-Ray a free push into this bot side as well. Same with BA pushing in mid. They're just going to be taking more and more gold away. 14.7k gold lead. D-Ray, stop putting him to sleep. I'm sure he's already tired. And now it is Kino gone. BA picks up their first kill of the game between worlds for Pound to get out of dodge. The tower's about to go down. They have to just get over these walls, and Pun somehow lives. But no, it looks like Eddie does stand on the trap. The Yordle is not going to be doing too well. Still, Shadow off to the side. And Eddie might be caught out here all alone. A little bit of a heal. They just baited in Shadow. Traps go wide. Here comes Rest. They pick up Eddie. That's a lot of their damage. It's 1,000 gold over to this Rest, and that is quite big. But yeah, you're right. D-Ray, he's already taken it in him.
Exactly. He's just taken it in him this whole time. It was 4v5. Kino barely gets out of that one. And okay, yeah, you got a kill. Getting a shutdown on Eddie, that's not nothing. but you're trading it for your base being broken.
Is it worth, Carrix? Is it worth?
No. Well, actually, so it actually is, because you weren't stopping the inhib going down regardless. The inhib is doomed, so getting a shutdown is the best of a bad situation. Unfortunately, making the best of a bad situation is not going to be enough. We do see in live, Pun is being borne down on, but he's got teammates coming. He's not even going to go down.
Yeah, D-Ray does go golden, and it looks like BA wants to continue this fight potentially. Is Rest, yeah, they still have the Baron buff, and they've just picked up Soul, something we've just not even been able to talk about is the Infernal Soul has been picked up by Secret Wales. Basically, almost 100% control over these objectives. The only thing they missed is the Void Grubs, and CFO haven't even touched a tower.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, no towers taken. The only objective they've touched is they got 2 of the grubs. It's only kills really keeping them away from getting perfect game. This has been a complete dismantling.
And you got to wonder, what is going through the minds, not only of Secret Wales, but of CFO. The first game, Secret Wales were looking really good, really strong. Second game, they looked just as good, maybe more dominant. And there it is, Tempered Fate does land. Look at the tower anyway. Deadly Flourish is going to miss, but look at where did Shadow's just about to be blown up. That's your frontline, Carrix. And there's nothing they could do. They pick up this mid inhib, and it's just going to be a little bit of a victory march for Team Secret Wales once again. Yes, they're low. Ace in the hole's going to hit. BA has to heal between worlds. Is good, but it's not enough damage. They're trying to lock them in, and I think Secret Wales might have to reset, but instead, that's a TP now coming in. It is D-Ray wanting to join this fight. The curtain call does go through. It's not going to be able to do enough damage. No one is dying. Between worlds from D-Ray. It is good. Lockdown's even better. Where did he go? Blasted into infinity, and it is Secret Wales. They locked down this series like it was butter with a hot knife that's been brandishing them. And Secret Wales, they are going straight through to playoffs. They do not care who you are or what record you have. They will take you for everything you've got, and they win this best of 5 in a 3-0. There was no contest.
It didn't even look close, Pike. It did not even look close. Team Secret Wales are completely untouchables. They are the immortal tyrants of the LCP.
This is their year. CFO, oh, I love this. They're not even just fist bumps. There's hugs in there too. BA playing with some members they've played with before as well, but Secret Wales come forward. Absolutely outstanding. And I can tell you now, Carrix, from every other team in the LCP, they're watching this series and they're just going, what the bloody hell do we do?
I mean, maybe the rest of the LCP is breathing a sigh of relief, because now there's 3 weeks with no Team Secret Wales.
Oh, they're all
there's
just
3 weeks where it's like,
3-0.
we don't have to think about them for a little while. It's 3-0. It's destruction. Oh my.
Oh, it's so rough. Yeah, Eddie, you have crushed it, my guy. BA, absolutely smashing performance. This team really is the pinnacle right now. CFO, they had their time last year. This is the Wales era, and you know what? They're dominating this ocean.
Yeah, they really are. They are the apex predator of this sea. As look at the damage charts, they weren't close in every role except top, I guess, because it's Cassante into a rumble, just doing more active. I mean, game 3, even more so than the first 2 games, was just unbelievably Team Secret Wales side. I was about to say, who do we think will be going to for player of the match, but I think we might be getting our answer on screen.
It's got to be Histo. Every single game there was so relevant, making everything work in their favor. The first 2 games, Histo was the dominator. But it could be D-Ray here. It's showing sort of everyone at this point, but I have to give it to Histo. I think they were split 2 MVP of the whole of the LCP. I think there is a reason why they might be securing it here, but guaranteed Histo, MVP of the first best of 5 here at the LCP in this Swiss stage. I think we both agree it's pretty honest that it is the right call.
Yeah, and particularly that Kiana game. He was fantastic in that. And we also did just get word through that this locks Team Secret Wales into Worlds. No matter what happens in playoffs, they have enough championship points. They will be representing the LCP at Worlds, but they still have so much to fight for because you know they want to go as the first seed and you know they want to make it a treble for trophies.
Yeah, that's it. Like, they want to lock down this entire year, but secured into Worlds, a phenomenal effort from our #1 team here in the LCP. That is the ticket that all of these teams have been fighting for, and to get it here and now is absolutely outstanding. And to be honest, I don't think any other team could come close to this.
I don't know who is getting particularly close to them. I think 3 weeks. You've got 3 weeks to think of something. But I don't know if 3 weeks is enough.
It's not enough time.
They've had all year.
It's still not enough time, Coach. That's the problem. It's still not enough. They need another year.
Yeah, I mean, they need something because I just don't know what you do about Team Secret Wales, because people will walk away from this series and be like, oh, CFO overrated, CFO not actually that great. It's not true. CFO are a good team.
Yeah.
But they still got embarrassed.
Yeah, well, you bang on. Like, it was just Secret Wales. They just knew exactly what they were doing. And even here, like, Eddie is so confident in the 1v1 underneath their tower, flashes for a dancing grenade. Bada bing, bada boom is what he's saying. And a huge testament to this team and an incredibly fast series where it's been pretty long all week. This is our first 4-nighter in a hot minute, Carrick's too. And on the 4th night, we got showed a masterclass of League of Legends. Like, this was impressive.
I mean, impressive might be underselling it. As we watch these highlight plays, there were a couple decent fightbacks from CFO, but in the end, it was just Team Secret Wales absolutely running away with the Swiss stage. They are our first 3-0 team. They are up in the playoffs, just waiting for everyone else to join them.
And they're just watching from afar. They can start thinking about the competition at Worlds instead. They're looking at LCP and saying, guys, it's all right. We've got this. We can go look and worry about someone else. But the 3-0 confirmed here tonight just proves why the Secret Wales fear nothing. They fear no one. We may as well call them the killer whales at this point because they are just dominating. But now that we look at our Swiss stage here, Carrick's, break it down for the lovely folks at home.
Well, we do have Team Secret Wales now qualified for playoffs, and we've got more coming to you. Next series that we see will be that 0-2 bracket playing on the Thursday. The SoftBank Hawks versus Ground Zero. The loser, their time is over for the split, and the winner will continue. That will be another best of 5. In fact, it's best of 5s all the way through, because these teams just need to try and stay alive here in the LCP. The SoftBank Hawks, they don't want to be the first ones to go out after the performance of last split.
No, that's exactly right. Like, they were a top 4 team under consideration, but geez, they've just started to show some life as well, Carrick's, and to have that now coming to fruition and possibly facing relegation really puts the fear in any team. So it's 2 wolves backed up against a back wall. There's going to be some blood.
There absolutely is, and I don't know who I'd predict in that one. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be a great series. But that's the end of a week of LCP. It's been action-packed, Pike. It was so many games, so many series, and Team Secret Wales wins as they always do. Do you have any last words for the fans before we call it for this week?
It's been an absolute joy casting this week. We will be back next week as well, but from myself at least, and at least production as well. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you all on the next adventure. Carrick's, closer out, baby.
Well, that will be it for us for the week, but don't you miss us too much. We'll be back on Thursday with that 0-2 bracket game. It'll be a hell of a game. We'll see you there. Good night.